everybody, and welcome back to ESN. We're here live in Lincoln, Alabama at Talladega Super Speedway for round 35 of the AWSCO Windows Cup Series season. We're in the middle of the second round of the playoffs as the Cup Series field gets ready to take on the Polymarket 600. The Polymarket 600, 226 laps, just slightly over 600 miles actually, in what is by scheduled distance what will be the longest scheduled race in the Cup Series, in either AWSCO Series schedule, just beating out the Charlotte Dr. Pepper 600 by that extra mile, by that extra 1.16 miles. But even though this race is the longest in the season, it most likely won't feel like that, as the racing here at Talladega often lends itself out to high speed, high action pack racing, and we'll most definitely see something like that today for a good majority of the race. I'm Russia. Welcome to the FanDuel Fan Studio here for the pre-race show. I'm joined with Madison for the pre-race today. Good to have you back in the studio with us here at ESN today. How are you doing, and how are you enjoying the atmosphere here at Talladega this afternoon? We mentioned yesterday in the Continental Series race that Talladega often it's linked. It feels like the soul of super speedway racing is here at Talladega. That's, how do I say it? The spiritual home of super speedway racing is here at Talladega. Daytona is kind of the home of the performance. We have the big. In terms of size, we now have Pensacola and also Concord, of course, for the All-Star race. But when it comes to atmosphere, I don't think any track beats out Talladega. It's just something different in the air here in Alabama.
You're right. It's a very different enigma, I would say, as far as the kind of thing you get here at Talladega Super Speedway. Like, yes, academically, certainly you have tracks like Daytona, Pensacola, etc. that very much are super speedway racing, but in terms of just the feel for it and the authenticity and the way it sort of has that energy, Talladega is the super speedway race. And you mentioned the Polymarket 600. We're happy to have Polymarket also sponsoring this pre-race show here, of course. Shout out to them. And there's really a lot to look forward to going into this race. Of course, as you mentioned, middle of the second round of the playoffs. After this, there will be just 5 races left, which certainly will be a very intense time for all these drivers. And certainly, there's a lot that you both can do and cannot do here. What about that and sort of how destiny is really out of your control?
Yeah, you mentioned this race being part of the playoffs, and it certainly is. It certainly is the case when NASCAR visits this racetrack in the fall, in their playoffs or postseason. It's oftentimes the fall Talladega race already has that prestige to it. Oftentimes it's regarded as one of the most prestigious races on their calendar. Obviously, the addition of it being a postseason venue just adds the pressure of it more, and oftentimes we see a lot of drama happen as a result of that. And with this track's position as the only true super speedway, you have Atlanta later on, but this is the true restrictor plate super speedway, the only one of its kind in the playoffs here. And it being kind of in the middle of the playoffs, whereas kind of right in the middle of the chaos of the postseason. I think there's definitely that additional level of pressure that you don't get any at the other super speedways that we have, as compared to the one that the drivers and teams are anticipating for this event specifically.
Absolutely, yeah, as far as that goes. And you mentioned Talladega being quite a prestigious event in the fall for NASCAR. Historically, it was even a crown jewel, so you're definitely bang on with that point. And looking at, just the pressure going into this race, it's, I would say, not necessarily unsurpassed, but it's definitely among the highest, because you're helpless, really. Like, one little thing goes wrong and that's your dreams of a championship definitely crippled, if not done. Of course, we also have Martinsville the next week, which is a second chance, but again, just there really is a lot on the line here, and it's so easy for things to go wrong. And we've seen so many times, again, in NASCAR races, how it can really just shatter all at once. If you're a playoff driver, how do you think you would be going about sort of the pressure here, and what do you think you'd try to do to mitigate all of that possible trouble as much as you can, if you can?
Well, that's always the eternal question when we're here at any super speedway: is where do you go, where do you run, and how do you avoid these accidents? Because there really hasn't never been. This is a question everyone has been asking since the birth of the restrictor plate racing style in stock car racing, and I don't think there's ever been a definitive answer to this question. Because if it feels like wherever you are in the race, in the pack, there's always a chance of something going wrong and getting caught up in an accident. Getting caught up in an accident. We saw that in the Continental race yesterday, with a wreck near the back of the field, right as they were starting up as they were starting the race, which followed up a few playoff cars right there. But it's certainly the case that I feel like if there's one place that is quote unquote safe at the pack, it's right at the very front of the field. First place or nothing, basically. That's my opinion on this. If you're in first place, you're probably the most safe, but at the same time, that maintaining first place is a bit of a fool's errand, and the super speedway as well. It's not exactly a good idea from both a racing and a strategic perspective to kind of lock down first place for a good chunk of the race. Although I say that, there is of course the bonus point you get for leading the most laps. That of course for the playoff drivers will probably be rather important, something you want to have. I think at least get the point for leading a lap. Ideally, you get the point for leading the most laps, and of course there's another bonus point out there for getting pole position, which I think is going to be a good place for us to move on over to looking at our starting lineup here. We have that one playoff.
Yeah, and it's Arenia Tosama up at the front with that point.
You have that playoff driver, Arenia Tosama, came in ninth, pretty much on the cut line here. Yeah, pretty much on the cut line of the playoff after finishing 31st at Oregon. Lots of playoff drivers had issues at Oregon, which kind of creates a bit of a two-tiered format right now. A lot of the drivers that ran well and finished in the top 20 or so, they're pretty decently up ahead of the playoff cut line right now. That's everyone down to Ava Yarsaraj in 7th place. Andrea Davison, of course, already won at Oregon, so her ticket's punched to the next round. But if you're 2nd through 7th right now, you're feeling at least okay. If you're about 20 points up right now heading into Talladega, the worst that could happen is you'll end up... I feel like the worst that could happen if you're in that kind of area is you end up in the bubble or slightly behind heading into Martinsville. But for everybody else, 8th down onwards, I think. 8th down onwards, you're only about 10 points, I'd say. Yeah, you're less... Well, Vebels, for example, 8th place, only 6 points above the cut line. Then you have Tosama, who was 5 points, now 6 points, tied with the 99. Little, Haberman, Yukovic, Arena, Nihil, and Talberson, all of those drivers had issues in the Oregon race. And that's I think the thing that's the additional level of complexity compared to the Continental Series, obviously. Because in the Continental Series, everyone was kind of in fairly equal footing heading into Talladega, about as equal as you could get, I think. Whereas right now here at Talladega, in the Cup Series, a bit of a two-tiered system right now with the way the drivers ran at Oregon. A lot of playoff drivers had good runs, and a lot of playoff drivers had bad runs, and there's not many drivers who had just okay runs really in the first race in the second round here. So that creates a lot of drivers that might be fairly desperate here to get a good result as a result of that.
Yeah, definitely. And again, we talked about desperation all today. That will be the defining feature of this race, because the only driver even close to the front in terms of really top 10 is Tosama. Then you have Little and Waterton on row number 5. And pretty much from basically the other 15 drivers are all at risk. Again, as you mentioned, it's a bit pointless to try and maintain the lead all race, because you really are the sitting duck and somebody will go by you. But you do want to be near the front, at least in my opinion, so that, it's less likely that you'll be the centerpiece of the wreck or caught in the wreck from someone else ahead of you. At least that's the kind of mentality I would go for. But really, as far as, where you save, how do you navigate the chaos, that's kind of it. You don't. You just hope that you're lucky, and that's about it, really, as far as that goes. And sure, disappointing answer. Definitely not comforting for the drivers, the teams, or anybody, but the reality is you have to accept that Talladega is chaotic and you might get caught up in it, basically. There really is no way to avoid it.
Yeah, but if we do get a but if we do get a long green flag run, we would expect green flag pit stops to happen, and that's what we saw in the Continental Series race, a series of green flag pit stops. And that right there is, I think, a part of super speed racing where you can absolutely determine your own fate, mastering the art of minimizing time on pit lane, making sure you get your draft, make sure you get the right partners to come in and come out at the same time, so you don't lose as much speed as possible. That timing, if we do get a green flag cycle of pit stops, that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be, if not the definitive deciding factor, one of the deciding factors that I think determines how these drivers do. Because we saw in the Continental race multiple times over, when you had those green flag pit stops, packs tend to be broken up from big, 20 to 30 car packs to about 10 to 20 car packs. 20 car packs, I feel like after the green flag cycle is about as big as they get. And that's, I think, going to be fairly important. Obviously, if a caution comes out, that's going to reset everything. But if we do get a long green flag race, that's going to be something important. Especially if you plan on running up front most of the way, you want to make sure you're on top of things during the pit cycles, and you're not wasting time on pit road or coming in by yourself and losing the draft. Basically, that's going to be something very important, and that's, I think, one of the key things that we learned from the Continental race.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you can kind of see that to a far lesser extent in NASCAR races on the seldom occasions that they do run for long green flag runs. Is pitting is absolutely crucial, and you need to do it with the right people and stay organized. One penalty, one missed braking point on pit road, that will completely ruin your day. And if you do go a lap down here, it's pretty hard to come back from that, to be honest. Like, yeah, you will be the free pass, but if you go a lap down, something you monumentally messed up, pretty much. And that's kind of where it is. Like, yeah, strategy will be huge today, especially since it's going to be 600 miles instead of the normal NASCAR 500. So even more opportunities to either gain or lose through pit stops. And it'll be really interesting seeing how that turns out. And certainly a bit more stressful for the crew chiefs, too.
Yeah, and I think from a technical standpoint as well, the Continental teams definitely pushed the envelope a little bit with the car's performance, because we saw a lot of engine problems in that race. Quite a few cars dropping out due to engine failures, including a few playoff cars in a much shorter race compared to this one that was only 300 miles, only half the length of this one. So this is as much an endurance race as much as any other, I think, in the AWSCO schedule. You mentioned the 600 miler at Charlotte being a test for everyone. This race is going to be just as much of a test, especially for these cars' performance. 600 miles at a super speedway, constantly at full throttle. We'll see whether or not these engines can survive. How many of these engines survive the whole way? I think that's another point.
Yeah,
that's going to be very important, and that bit a lot of playoff drivers last in the Continental race. So I'm expecting drama to happen in this one as well. Maybe reminiscent of the 2016 playoff Talladega race in the NASCAR Cup Series, if you remember that one.
I do, and of course that was where Martin Truex Jr. He was really, I would say, in his sort of second breakout season with Furniture Row, and then had his engine blow up at Talladega, and that basically ruined his playoff run. In fact, sent him out entirely. But again, to sort of lend credence to your point, I was going to mention the Continental race as reliability was a massive struggle there, and that's only half the distance of this. Of course, the Cup teams are probably a bit better prepared with this equipment, especially with the stakes being even higher than in Continental. But you're absolutely right in that, reliability could be a huge factor in today's race, along with, the chaos from the risk of crashing, the pit road stuff. This is possibly, in terms of just adversity, maybe the biggest test that you could have as a team, and that'll really sort of say as well for, driver transfers and that sort of thing over the off season, what's really a good fit and what isn't.
Yeah, and looking at the rest of the field here in the starting lineup, before we hand things over to the booth, you see those cars, you see those playoff cars all kind of peppering the midfield. Obviously, we have Tosama starting on pole, but then you get to the midfield rows 5 through 12. There's a playoff car in every row of that in every row from 5 to 12. Though they tend to alternate position. You see in rows 5 through 8, you see a lot of playoff drivers on the outside, but from rows 9 to 12, a lot of drivers on the inside. So I feel like a lot of these drivers in the playoffs are going to be trading positions with each other fairly early on in the race. But then you also see some of these drivers at the back. You see drivers like Nihil and Vebelst, who are all in the bubble. Talberson, of course, last right now. Alacante is looking pretty good after a 6th place finish at Oregon, but also starting out back there, all the way in 34th. In 30th, I should say. And yeah, Haurina starting dead last in 40th place. She's starting out 7 points below the cut line, but only 2 positions, but tied for 12th. So, given how tight things are back there as well, there's going to be there's definitely a lot of maybe strategy at play here in terms of race management from these teams. We'll see what they end up doing early on in the race at the very least.
Absolutely. And with these bombshells of conversations just about this race, is there much more that you'd like to talk about, in as much as the just as far as Talladega goes and what implications this could have? Because we've covered a lot already. Is there more that you want to discuss?
Not particularly here. I think we've covered all the points that we wanted to cover in this pre-race show. We'll hand things over to the booth now as we're greatly anticipating the start of this race. And it's going to be a long one, but it's going to be quite a thriller, I think. Lots of action coming up here at Talladega Superspeedway and the AWSCO Windows Cup Series coming to you here. The Polymarket 600 is just about ready to begin. We'll take things over to the booth now with Echo and Ellie.
And welcome to the Polymarket 600 here from Talladega Superspeedway. 600 miles, 226 laps will be the length of this race, this crucial race, but this very prestigious event here at the 2.66 mile Talladega Superspeedway. I'm joined in the booth by Ellie today. Ellie, how are you doing, and what do you think we can expect from this one tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing really great. I'm excited to see the drivers hit Talladega. Talladega is one of the tracks I actually kind of really enjoy watching. It's very fun. It's very fast. It's kind of dangerous, and I expect this to be a great race. A big thing I'm looking out for is actually strategy, especially pit strategy. I expect a lot of pit crews are going to be making deals and working together because they're going to want to get into the pits, and they want to get out with the same drafting partners because drafting here is obviously a big factor. I expect this to be a great race, and while looking at the qualifying field, I think it does have something to say in terms of these are the drivers who are going to be performing well, but I don't expect them to stay in those positions, especially leading in those positions for a while. You don't want that kind of pressure on you because it's harder to stay out in front, and you don't get that drafting boost performance in the back. So I expect a lot of shifting in terms of who's going to be out front, and I expect it to be a really great show.
Yeah, we're expecting about 6 pit stops in this one. You can make it about 36 to 38 laps on a tank of fuel here, depending on how you get set up in the draft. So that rounds up to about lap 216 for that final pit stop. It's going to be a very interesting race. Let's go through our starting grid. Row 1, Irina Tosima starts on the pole. She gained that extra bonus. She's gained already 1 extra point for being on the pole, so she comes in 6 points above the cut line. She's alongside Rachel Cole on the 52. Row 2, the 32, Sylvia Rariston, is alongside the 96 of Angeli Rigatino, 2 cars that challenged for the win last week at Oregon. Row 3, Jarlen Handstrom is alongside Paceland Yuria, who's taken over the 17 for the rest of the season, winner back at Watkins Glen. Row 4, Katrin Edelstein of the 82 alongside the 10 of Adi Stoneman. Row 5, Abby Little, +4 coming in. She's alongside Yania Waterton, who comes in 16 points to the good on the cut line. Row 6, the 6 of Jamie McJasmina, and the 46, Yenfi Yaniga, who's 18 points up on the cut line. Row 7, the 8 of Lowry Schliesenbach, the 98 of Eva Ajarsaraj, 14 points on the cut line. Row 8, the 26, Sophie Chantazay, and the 23, Yappy Malikson, who is 31 points ahead on the cut line. Row 9, the 55, Bria Dalad, who comes in 24 points up on the cut line, and the 38 of Young Wei Koo. Row 10, the 22, Andrea Davison, winner last week in Oregon. She's punched through to the next round alongside Carly Byrne in the 9. Row 12, the 31, Taylor Happeman, who comes in 4 points behind on the cut line. She's alongside the 3 of Mimi Verino. Row 13, the 62, Halis Jukovic, 7 points back on the cut line. She's alongside the 21 of Amani Wandayo. Row 13, the 91 of Alicia Byrne and the 27, Ichi Garnston. Row 14, the 92, Michele Yatica and the 1 of Alicia Vancy. Row 15, the 42, Mika Gennaro. In what is scheduled to be her last race at this team. She's being replaced after this weekend in that 42 car, so she's trying to make a headline for herself. She's alongside Periola Contes, who comes in 28 points to the good. Row 6, the 64 of Jocelyn Nihil, 8 points behind the cut line, alongside the 16 of Sky Angetta. Row 17, the 99, Marisha Vebelst, comes in 6 points up, alongside Lily Talberson, finished dead last week in Oregon, 10 points back. Row 18, the 20, Diaby Abriella, and the 15, Fabrizio Tolerone. Row 19, the 60 of Amory Wesco, and the 2 of Isa Ijavida. And row 20, the 72, Janet Parkings, and the 34, Mika Harina, who comes in 7 points behind the cut line. What do you think the keys are going to be to this race here tonight for 600 long miles here in Talladega?
Start your engines.
I think big keys here, it's going to be having a drafting partner that you're really familiar with and you can stay up there with pretty much the entire time. And you're going to want to stay around that drafting partner as much as you can. You're going to want to pit with that drafting partner, and you're going to want to get out of the pits with that drafting partner. I think there's also a big mental thing here too. I mean, it's longer than the regular Talladega race too. So you might need to cool off, not be not trying to push toward the front the entire race, kind of, so to speak. I know there's this saying, the white glove grip on the wheel the whole time. You might not want to do that necessarily. You might want to lag back for a bit, just to kind of keep your cool and show up a little later, show up in the middle of the race. Obviously, don't lose the draft. You don't want to do that, but I think there's going to be a mixed bag of strategies here.
Pace car is off. Tosima and Cole will lead them to the green flag here. $226 laps. We're about to start the first one. Green flag. We are racing at Talladega.
Grandstands are packed for this. Going to the middle, the 10 car.
Everybody's kind of, they're thinking about fanning out, but not really right now. It looks like a fairly standard 2-wide start. We saw in the Continental race, they didn't even make it to turn 1 before having some shenanigans occur. And that messed the field up for pretty much the whole race, but we seem to be okay here.
That bottom lane looks a little stronger right now. But now they're forming up in the second lane. Well, now they're kind of getting all over the place. They tried to make a third. I think the Stoneman in the 52 tried to make a third lane, and it just didn't work out.
Trying to get up to the top side, but not really doing anything right now. Again, that's one thing we may see, is that it may be less advantageous to be in the middle. You're not going to get cars dipping down to the bottom, dipping down to the middle lane like you would. Say it like Daytona.
Yeah. Usually we see the bottom lane and the top lane a little stronger here.
Tosima leads lap 2. Tosima has yet to lose the lead in this race, and she's holding on to it right now. Pack is kind of keeping things calm early.
Pretty stable bottom lane so far. They haven't switched up too much.
It looks like two pretty stable lanes, and there's kind of that third. That middle lane is kind of trying to get they're occasionally trying to form a middle lane, but not too much.
They're trying to form it up, but it just doesn't do much for them. Abby Little gets shifted to the top lane.
Here comes Lowry Schliesenbach in the 8 car. She's going to look to take the lead. Coming to the start-finish line. She will have it this time. So there's your first lead change of the day, and I'm sure that that will not be the last. There is going to be a lot of lead changes in this race. A lot of action everywhere, really.
Yeah, that third lane, just nobody really wants to go down there. Nobody wants to risk forming it up, I guess.
I think you don't want to I don't think you want to try and challenge that, having a third lane this early.
Too early for it, yeah.
It's too early to be it's too early to be going 3 wide all over the place. So, you know, you go 3 wide, you risk maybe making it 4 wide if somebody else gets aggressive and doesn't realize where they are.
And then you might get a big one.
And you don't want a big wreck this early.
Well, unless you're devious and you want to take out half the field, maybe.
Well, if you think you know who you're taking out, maybe.
They got insights, maybe. Now it looks like they are trying a little more in that middle lane, but it's not doing much. And now the 45 just got shifted back up top anyways.
32 and the 19. Yeah, I say that, and it looked like they kind of got split off a little bit, but they actually really didn't get split off that badly. See, there's a few cars kind of straggling off at the back right now. Schliesenbach holding on to the lead, but here comes Rigatino in the 96.
Rigatino was drafting off of her the whole time, and the 8 car went high. I'm not sure it was the choice she would have made should have made if she wanted to stay out front, but
I'm
it's
not
early.
sure she had much of a choice.
Yeah.
The 96 just kind of got a run on her and just dove it down into the corner. Not really much of a chance the 8 car could do there. Winner at Watkins Glen, Paceland Uria. Oh, the 96 is blowing up in front of the field.
Oh. That. Alright, she doesn't cause a big wreck.
Got down to the apron. Very lucky that didn't end up something.
That could have been bad. That could have taken everybody.
That could have been really bad.
That would have not been really great.
Top 3 have kind of broken away. The next 3 have broken off a little bit too, but after that, everybody's still pretty formed up, so.
That was risky. That got my nerves up. I thought they were all gonna die.
I thought that was scary, considering how I've seen them react to mech failures in front of them. That was a bit scary. I was very concerned for the field's safety, but
They managed.
everyone's okay. This is kind of 7th to, well, 39th place right here. But it's Halis Jukovic now out front in the 62 car. Now you're seeing there, it's kind of 2 groups of 3, and then the entire rest of the field behind. So it's going to split the pack up for a decent bit, but it's not going to split them up for a particularly long time here.
They're slowly inching up.
Yeah, they'll catch back up. We'll get you the information on what happened to the 96 as soon as we have it. We're still waiting on official word from down there. All right, Madison, can you tell us what's up on the 96 car?
Well, they left the cover inside the cowl of the engine. That is the vent in the hood that sort of lets air in and out of the engine to cool it off. And they left that closed, so the engine overheated, blew up, and they will not be back in the race. Definitely a careless mistake by the team, and very costly.
Well, stuff like that is big reason why Rigatino fell out after the first round. She lost out on a tiebreaker situation to her teammate in the first round.
Seems like her team's gotta get their stuff together. That's a little,
Yeah.
I don't think you want that to happen. This is a messy pack right now.
Yeah, they're all kind of single file now as they're all kind of reeling in the front group. So they've kind of all single filed out a fair bit. You see the top 12, top 18 or so kind of single file out, but they're starting to double up again. Looks like pretty much everybody's going to stay in the pack here, so that's something you worry about when the pack gets split up, is that some cars are going to drop off the pack because they just can't keep the pace. But it looks like everybody's going to manage to stick in the draft, at least early on here. Although the 15 may actually end up dropping out, just because she looks a little far back.
Looks a little too slow and a little too far back. I'm not sure what's going on with that car.
Tabrizia Toleron won a dual race at Daytona earlier in the year. That's been about the only bright spot she's had.
You know, maybe she took my advice a little too, too much to heart,
I think she's too far back. She's not gonna be able to she's definitely not gonna be able to reel the pack in now. So now again, the DQ speed here is about 52 seconds. So 52 seconds on that mark. Anything higher than that would be marked as the DQ speed. She's only running 50-second laps.
Slow.
Well, it's only because she's lost the draft.
Yeah.
You lose the draft here, you lose you lose all your speed because the draft is what keeps your speed up.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this at Pensacola too. See if this maybe second draft group back here can end up
Oh.
catching back up.
They're
But I think
reeling
they
back
will.
in.
I think they will. I think they'll get back. Right now, Halis Jukovic, winner of the Daytona 500, leads the way at Talladega. It looks like not many cars want. It looks like a fair few cars don't really want to put a move on her because, well, she's clearly got that kind of very good experience at these kind of tracks. Obviously, she won the Daytona 500. This is the other marquee restrictor plate event of the season. Another thing for
She's really
Jukovic.
pushing it.
Another thing for Jukovic is she's trying to lead laps. She's trying to get some bonus points because she came into this race below the cut line. She won her way into this round at Kansas last in round number 1, but she's still gonna have to rely on points this round, unless, well, she wins here or next week at Martinsville.
Well, she's pushing it early on. I'm sure she's doing this for points right now.
Looks like pretty much everybody's in the lead draft except for the 15. Yeah, the 15's lost the draft, but that looks like she looks like about the only car that's really done so.
I bet she feels lonely out there.
Well, you do what you can, I suppose.
Oh yeah, we don't even see her in frame.
Sky and Jetta looking to the inside. She also won a duel at Daytona in the opening of this season. She may not even lead at the. She may not even lead coming to the line. Here comes the 38 of Youngwei Koo. Close, but I'm pretty sure the 38 got it there.
I couldn't tell.
Yep, she did.
Alright.
'98 car of a Jarsraj has just kind of been shuffled to the middle lane. She's got no help there.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to that middle. It's just not getting anybody anywhere.
Well, right now you want to play it safe right now. You don't want to be putting it in the middle unless you absolutely have no other choice. And that 98's kind of getting shuffled. She doesn't have anybody with her in line. Here comes the 8 of Schliesenbach. Imagine something like that coming to the finish of the race.
That would be something.
0.00 there.
Oh my god.
Schliesenbach did not have the lead, though. It was Koo that time. And here comes the 32 of Ariston. She's got one Dio with her. She's got Carly Byrne, Felicia Vancy, and then last week's winner, Andrea Davison, right here in this lane now, too. You know, Irina Tosima as well, winning the pole, and she led the opening 2 laps. That is going to help her because not only is that one bonus point for leading the pole, that's another one for leading a lap. So she's already got 2 bonus points in the bag.
It's already a pretty good start to the race for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And a money one Dio now looks to the inside.
Looks like there's 3 cars kind of falling back, but I think they're maintaining.
Looks like the 99.3 and 55 right now. They're just kind of rolling at the back right now, but I think they're definitely not slow enough to lose the draft right now. I think these cars are just kind of keeping it steady at the moment as they go 3 wide for the race lead.
Oh my god. Imagine that for a finish.
Davison jumps out front with the 98 of Ajar Siraj trying to get her way through. She's got Yuria pushing her as well. I think Davison's just not clear of that middle lane. I think she wants to jump down to it, but she's not clear of it.
Go to the top lane instead, and then you end up back down in front. That's a good play.
98 car will get a lap-led bonus point. That's crucial for her in the playoffs. And they are starting to form that third lane quite a bit. Like, look at this.
Yep, the third lane's finally slowly coming here.
It's starting to form up a little bit.
It's we're kind of at that point where...
I think it might be dissipating here fairly soon, though. Because it looks like a lot of the cars in that third lane are jumping back into the top and the bottom.
They're kind of using it when it's advantageous and then discarding it when they don't need it anymore. Which is about usually what you do with the middle lane anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of the back end of the pack is single filed out on the bottom, actually. It's not really like rows and rows of 2 wide. It's kind of just like at the front there's 2 and 3 wide, and then at the back it's kind of strings out into a bit of a tail there. McJasmine now leads. First time she's led a race in a while, I'm pretty sure.
It's a miracle for her.
She made the playoffs by virtue of winning back in Montreal. That's been about the lone bright spot on her season. "23 laps complete from Talladega. Just about 203 laps to go, so...
Little was trying to form a middle lane, and then it just didn't work. So she went to the top.
She jumped back to the top lane there. 55 starting to taper off the pack a little bit. Like you see... Yeah, she's lost the draft now.
Yeah.
55 breed a lot, and that's not good. That's pretty big, because that 55, that's a playoff car.
Delod looked the slowest in that little bundle of cars that were falling back. Oh, she is far behind.
She's not getting back.
Yeah, that's way too far.
Now 3 Southwest racing cars in a row on the bottom lane. The 6, 16, and 42. Those 3 teammates all working together, looks like. How's that for a photo op there for those 3?
I bet that team's really happy with this right now.
That team has had a bit of a confounding year. So, seeing all 3 of their cars at the front of the field probably makes them a little bit happy.
Yeah, Talladega too. This is one of the NASCAR tracks. When you think of NASCAR, you think of Talladega half the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying something there. Yeah, looked like going to the bottom was the choice.
42 looked to dive to the bottom to protect that lane against the 2-car. Vijavida and Jedi, I don't think, got the memo there. And Meika Gennaro on borrowed time in this car. She's being released from this team following this weekend. They already made this announcement. So she's pretty much auditioning for somebody else to try to pick her up here.
You could say she's making a case right now, at least. That 6-car just does look really good right now.
She's just sitting out front, but in fairness, she does have her teammate kind of blocking the way for her.
Yeah. Well, that's what you kind of need. You need to work with your teammate here.
She's not going to be able to work with her teammate now
Well,
because Wandayo just broke them up.
there goes Tosima.
Tosima's up here as well, yeah?
And Tosima looks strong on that bottom lane.
We're getting reports that Britta Lott is running 57-second laps. That is very concerning.
That's pretty abysmal.
That is not normal, even for being off the draft. That would put her well outside the DQ speed.
Not a good day for UPS, huh?
Not a good day for Dark Horse Racing. Both of their cars clearly having some sort of issue. 96 obviously blew up. 1155 looking like she might have trouble.
Plasma gets it. It's another lap lead. You want to dive, I think, soon, unless you don't want to hang on to it. Yeah, we are still early.
And Jasmine to back out to the front. Yeah, they're trying to get a little bit of a third lane, but I don't know if you want to form a third lane now because pit stops are coming up really quickly. We apologize for losing the our microphones for a bit there. We're experiencing a bit of technical difficulty there. We should have everything back. Jasmine is still out front, though. She's got Schlesenbach following her. There's Katrin Edelstein. There's Gabby Malikson, Cindy Rariston. As we are coming up, we're going to see some cars diving down pit road. 39, 91. Alberson and Alicia Byrne. And you can get into pit road pretty fast here. You can get away with quite a bit coming down pit road. You're going to see a lot of cars trying to get away with quite a bit entering pit road here today. I think a lot of these cars are trying to single file out to get to down to pit road.
Yeah, they got a single file out.
A lot of cars. You'll see the cars that are jumping up to the high side.
High side probably wants to stay out.
If you jump up to the high side, that's kind of a sign that you're not pitting. You're letting cars come down pit road. And there goes about 7 cars. 8 cars, excuse me.
There goes
9.
3.
Down pit road. Looks like it's right side tires for most of these cars coming down right now. '91 and 39 came in together. They're going to exit a little ways off each other, but still fairly close.
There's a couple cars coming out together. Well, that's what you want. You don't want to come out alone.
Yeah, here come. There's a bunch of cars now on pit road.
Everybody's down here.
That's
so
a
far.
lot of cars. That's like 14 cars or so.
Few stragglers out here.
Yeah, these are a few cars that are kind of staying out a bit long. But they've all pretty much looked like they're single filing out right now.
Might be trying to overcut or...
What in the world is going on here? That's a big slow up. 13-8. There goes pretty much the rest of the field aside from a couple cars here.
That's, yeah. That's most of the field.
Pretty much the rest of the lead lap cars aside from, I believe, the 62. at 82, there's something up with this car because she is really slow.
She might have to go and pit again. See what's up with that car.
"31 is... This car is... Well, there's no engine running. I think she ran out of fuel.
Oh my god.
Where's the 62? 62 is still on the track. Madison.
Yeah, so on the 55 and 82, they both had very similar issues. Both of them lost cylinders, so now both of those cars running on 7, which obviously 7 cylinders a lot slower than 8, especially when you're flat out, so it will be a very tough rest of the race for them, unfortunately.
Kalis Jukovic was struggling. She made it 41 laps on that tank of gas.
It's not bad.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's good fuel. Or fuel strategy.
That's very good mileage. Meanwhile, these are the two leaders right now. It's the 32 and the 6. This has split up the pack quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna stay split up for too long. I mean, it doesn't work at Talladega at all, so.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is that the packs there hasn't really been
There hasn't been a dominant pack.
Yeah, there's not really a dominant pack right now. It's just kind of a bunch of cars they're all pretty well split up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the only dominant pack, quote marks here, would be any pack on the bottom lane. That's all I would really say. The bottom lane seems to be the strongest. The top lane has been good for if you're trying to maintain your lead, you run up to the top and then you come back down. But we haven't really seen many drivers do that yet because it's early on. You don't really need to. You know, you're not fighting to win yet. You might be trying to lead some laps, get some points. Oh, wow, look. 72 was somewhere. I keep hearing that team say their engine roars like a lion. I don't know what they're talking about. That team's a little crazy.
And 82 is on DQ watch here as well, so. The 6 and 32 are pretty well gapped from the rest of the pack right now. And they're splitting it, going too wide right now, so the more they do this, the more it's going to drag in this group, the more that group is going to drag in this group, because this group is just formed up with a bunch more cars. I don't know whether this second big group is, I don't know whether the second big group has enough to really get the steam of this group.
We'll do it eventually.
Because there's kind of 3 packs right now that are formed up at the moment. And that first big pack has already reeled in the front three, the third through fifth place cars that kind of got away a little bit, and they're actually, well, they've actually single filed out behind them now. And the 6 and 36 keep going side by side.
Oh yeah, the other pack's kind of.
This group, I don't know if this is going to catch, but it might actually, they might form up if they get this
If
third group in
yeah.
with them.
If that
This
third group,
forms up with these cars, that could help them.
yeah, that third group needs to form up, and then everybody will get formed up, and then everybody will finally, well, be one big hopefully two lanes. I don't know why you would want to push for more than that, really. But it seems like Harina, the 34, and Little of the 71, pretty much everybody in that front pack all had like pretty decent pit stops.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
look
think
where
they
they
have
are.
decent stops, but they, also part of it is kind of just getting formed out.
Yeah,
You're seeing that this that they're closing up on the front two now. Front two are pretty much, well, I'd say they're about sitting ducks here.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's no other way you can really describe those two. They haven't really gotten anywhere. Which, I mean, it's just two cars, you're not punching that big of a hole through the air.
Yeah, you're not getting enough there. I think this third group and this second group may end up staying split because, let's see, this second group, how many cars are in this group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 cars in that group. And there's 10 cars in this group. So I don't think that third group is going to have enough steam to catch the second group. Meanwhile, here we go for the race lead. The 98's up here. She's making her move. 14 cars now are in the lead draft. As, whoa, the 39 car is really slowing up in front of the field.
She's coming down.
Clearly has a problem. And that's going to break about 4 cars off this lead draft now.
Yeah.
That just broke the 71, 23, and 99 off. If these cars fall back to this second group, that could actually bring the second group up to the first group if
They all
that
form
brings
up.
them a little more speed.
Well, yeah, those are all three pretty fast cars. Adding them to that second pack, I feel like it'll definitely help them get somewhere. Which I feel is inevitable. That pack of three, they're not going to have that much pace on their own, and that other pack,
It's not even a pack, really. They've
Yeah.
kind of split apart already, too.
yeah, and now that second pack's catching up to them.
Yeah.
It's going to
Oh
help
gosh,
them.
they're going 3 wide for the lead. Here comes AWSCO and Youngwei Koo.
Oof. That was a risky dive, but it worked. 50 laps in is just what kind of shocks me, already making moves like that.
I guess we're taking risks. Addison?
Well, you won't believe this, but you saw the 39 have a tire go down. It's believed that it was from a soda can that came from the grandstands got through the fencing and onto the track. And then 39 was the unlucky one who ran over it. So that is a tire very much punctured, and the 39, of course, went down pit road. And certainly that is one of the ways you could pull a tire around here. Not really expected.
That's a very unfortunate way for Lily Talberson to have even more trouble, and that's going to put her in a very desperate position going to Martinsville.
Yeah.
Because she already came in. She had a last place finish at Oregon last week. That's not going to help. Not one bit.
Well, to whoever, threw the soda can on track, we'll find you.
Well, we?
Yeah, we.
Like us in the broadcast booth?
I mean, if you don't want to go and find them with me, I'll do it.
Okay, fair enough. You gonna go beat them up in the stands or something?
Well, I don't know if I could say that on the air. I don't know if it's good
Good publicity?
good publicity, to be threatening our fans.
And if you're a fan disrupting the race, maybe it is good publicity.
Why don't you guys go vote on Polymarket whether it's gonna happen? Just a big shout out to our sponsor.
52 laps complete. Top 10 cars in the lead draft right now. Then back here, about 11th through 23rd in their own little group. Now this group was 6 seconds back last time I checked. They're only about 5 seconds back now, so they are closing in on the front pack. Whether they'll actually catch up to the front pack before the run ends remains to be seen. And of course, whether they keep that gain up, which they actually didn't do on that lap. You can kind of see them within that shot.
Yeah, they're
a little bit now.
slowly creeping up.
They're starting to catch up again. And again, with this group constantly going double file, this group has been a little bit more... They've wanted to go single file a little more. That could be the help that they need. They gained a little bit. They're definitely not losing time, that's for sure. So, maybe that could be something that they can get. They could get that back if they, they get down pit road here, or not pit road, but if they can maybe make up a little bit more time, maybe they can make that up on the pit entry a little bit if they just send it down for the pit entry. These cars are out. Also, this lead draft is also approaching lap cars right now.
That's gonna slow them up. Still gaining.
Yeah, they gained a lot. They gained a lot that time. And these are this is kind of a group of 3. It was a group of 2 when I looked, but it's kind of increased to a group of 3 because the 17 is in here now. I'm gonna keep my eye on that second pack, see what kind of time they get. They gained again.
Yeah,
They're
quite
pretty,
a bit.
They're pretty consistently picking up about a couple tenths a lap. Now, a couple tenths isn't a lot.
It's not a lot, but it's also nothing to ignore.
Nothing to scoff at. Plus, you know, once they start hooking into the draft of this lead group, that will let them gain even more time. But also, this lead group now, gonna kind of stringing out a little bit. I think they're kind of realizing a little bit of that. Yeah, that second group just lost all that time. It looked like they were making progress, but the lead group strung out. And it kind of broke that up again.
That second pack did also straighten out too. Just now-ish. Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
They heard me saying something positive. Got a little nervous.
Yeah, they started to drop off a lot. In fairness as well, this lead group is catching the draft of these lap cars. These lap cars were up to pace with the lead packs as well, so
I thought these
this
were
could
slow
also
lap
kind of
cars.
even that difference out if they get these lap cars in this group with them. It may also not really do anything though if say this lead group drops a couple cars that fall back to the second pack.
Looked like that third pack was catching up to the second pack.
They honestly might be, and I think that could be something that might help. If this third pack gets to the second pack, and they, you know, get together, that could really help.
Yeah. I could get them somewhere.
Because that would about double the size of that pack. If the third and second groups combine, that's about 20 cars, and this lead group is only about 12 or 13. It was about 10, and then they dragged some lap cars in with them. Suddenly, Rariston's taken the lead away from McJasna. Andrea Davison is up here. You know, no matter where we go, it always feels like Davison manages to find her way to the front. Ever since Lausitzring, or ever since Rio de Janeiro, she has not finished outside the top 20. She has 10 top 10s in the last 12 races.
That is definitely something.
And again, Davison, look where she's running right now. She's in the top 5 right now, again. You know, even though she won last week, she clearly does not care, and she wants to run for the win. She wants to run for the win this week too.
She's not satisfied with one win, I guess. Greedy.
Yeah, and why should she be satisfied? She's chasing a championship. She's going for a lap lead there. She's taking the lead away from Rariston. Again, she doesn't even need these points. But I suppose it's good to have them.
You don't want to turn down 3 points.
I know. You don't. You don't really want to turn them down at all. Second group continues to lose time. It's looking like it may be over for them unless there's some sort of a yellow, or maybe in this next pit cycle that we see. Maybe in the next pit cycle, we may see a little bit more shuffling, a little bit more of the lead pack break apart. That lets a few of those cars from that second pack jump back into this elite group.
Someone's losing the draft.
That's the 46. She's a lap down, so... Yanniga, it's pretty inconsequential for her right now. She's already a lap down.
I see.
They're single filing out there, while meanwhile this group is, they were going 3 wide for a good bit. For the lead goes Yannia Waterton. But so far, through 64 laps, we are caution-free here from Talladega. And I'm sure that is a welcome sign for people who have watched the last 2 AWSCO plate races, where we had yellows early, especially at Daytona, where we had them very often in the first 100 laps.
I expected them to not really get too many cautions here in the cup race. The cup races, especially here, are like pretty clean.
Yeah, until they aren't.
Well, until a big one happens.
When this group single files out and the front pack starts getting all 3 wide like this, that's when the second group starts catching back up. Yeah, they gained a lot of time there as well. Now they're stringing out. Well, I say they're stringing out, but they end up not stringing out. Also interesting to note here as well, the second group, they're starting to catch a bit of a toe off this lap car, the 46. That could help them. That could really help them close up again.
Yeah, it's an extra car punching a hole through the air.
Oh yeah, they've got a big draft off that 46 right now.
They gained so much pace with that.
They gained a lot. They're back up to 6.2 sec.
What just happened with that car?
60 just did a weird dive to the apron. I'm not really sure what happened with her.
What
She was in
hell
the
is
top
she
10.
doing?
She's coming to pit road.
Interesting. We'll have to see what's up with her.
And we'll have to see if that's well, I actually don't even have to scroll down now because the 60 was in the top 10, but that now drops it down to 9 cars in the lead lap.
They are... That second pack looks a lot closer now.
They dropped back though.
Really?
They actually lost time that last lap.
My eyes must have been deceiving me.
And it's probably been closer than the last couple times we saw them.
That's fair.
But now this lead group is single filing out again.
Yeah, they're very single filed out.
Madison.
Right, so on the 60, that engine was starting to overheat because water depletion was a bit high, so they'll have to spend longer on future pit stops to refuel it. And it looks like there's more problems for the 60, maybe? No, just merging back in, but the engine will have to be managed more to keep it from overheating further and potentially having a terminal issue. Tough day for the 60.
When you overheat that engine, it typically doesn't really get any better. Might have had some debris stuck on the grill or something.
Could be.
Whoa, Davison.
Whoa.
Be careful. Now this lead group is starting to bring the 39 in. Actually, they're starting to get the draft of the 39 car. Again, we'll have to watch the 60 in terms of what their lap time is, because if they're off pace, they could be DQ'd in a hurry. They would go 3 wide for the lead, by the way.
Oh my god. Still going? Not going? There goes 39.
They're gonna filter it out right before they catch the 39 here. Okay, this car sounds pretty off the pace. Yeah,
Oh, she sounds horrible.
55-second lap there. Meanwhile, the leaders are running still in the high 48s. So far, green flag all the way from Talladega.
That's something you like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Jasmine back out front. Harina's sitting in second. It's Harina, Davison, Koo, Hapman, Rariston, Waterton, Yatica, Schliesenbach, and Ajarsraj as the lead lap cars in this lead group. This third group just isn't really closing on this second group right now. The lead group also tends to go 3 wide like this out of nowhere for no real reason. There's a few lap cars in this group that's kind of helping them draft and keep out front here. Because if the lap cars were taken out of this group, that would probably...
I don't think they would be going 3 wide.
60 car is going to be told that you are done.
Or at least as often as they are right now.
Yeah. They're cutting it pretty close with the 60 being parked as the 91 is down pit road. Looks like we're starting to get our second set of green flag pit stops.
That might mix things up.
17, 92 coming down pit road. 92 is a lead lap car, 17 is not, but that could help. A few cars back here, 99, 27, 16 are down pit road. Of Alicia Byrne also came down pit road.
I wonder if you're that second pack, how long do you wait to come down and go and get into the pits?
Oh, look at this.
That would be a good time.
640, 638, 8, 32, 98. If I'm in the second pack, I think I want to try and keep myself in a draft that's formed up. I want to gain as much time as I can. Because the more cars in a draft that are formed up, that's going to be more time you gain. And the front pack is very split apart. And this second pack is still fairly hooked together at the moment. Comes pretty much the rest of the lead lap cars. 22, 34, 13 is flying down pit road.
Don't get held up by a penalty.
62, 71, 19, 20, 21. These cars all still staying out right now. And I think that's kind of part of the plan here is try and... Oh, there's a car blowing up in front of them. It's the 27 of Garnston.
Oh. She's getting in the grass.
She's just trying to get out of the way there, I think. That's all that is. How many of these cars pit? 71, 19, 21 are in. This group looks like the 62 is going to try and make it a bit long again. I mean, might as well if you can, huh?
Well, yeah.
She made it about 40 laps, or she made it about 40 laps last cycle. She clearly has good mileage.
Yeah, and it kind of benefited her.
Yeah. Now, where did the 22 and 13 cycle out? That's where they cycled out. The 6 is here with them too. You got the 8, the 38 here, the 34, 32, 8 is here. Where's the 62? Did the 62 come down pit road yet? Yes, she did. That's going to be a big thing. How do all these cars end up cycling out? Now the top 4 have strung together at the moment. Actually, top 8, or top 7, excuse me. Probably going to form this second group up again. So it looks like not particularly much has changed. this pit cycle comes to a close here.
This pack's got a lot more cars in it than before.
Yeah, it does, and the lead group doesn't have as many cars in it as it had. And I think that part of this is that some of the cars from that lead draft have actually dropped back into this second group.
It's gonna give this second group a lot more pace.
Yeah, that should help the second group catch up, unless there's more. Never mind.
There's a caution.
Caution is out. Yellow flag.
It's the first yellow.
I'm not entirely sure why there is a yellow flag, but that will bunch the field back up.
Well, makes the race more competitive.
Yeah, no kidding. So first caution of the day. There may be debris on track, is what we are hearing.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't see anything crazy going on.
Free pass car is going to be the 17 of Pace Linearia. Looks like pit road will be open, and it looks like pretty much the whole field is going to be taking here, coming out of pit road. Coming down pit road.
Oh, if you missed anything prior, you can get it now.
Yeah, perfect opportunity for a lot of these. Perfect opportunity for a lot of these teams to just maybe get a bit of a splash of fuel, extend that fuel window just a little bit. See if we can catch. I'm gonna check the 32. I'm gonna see if I can catch what the reason for the yellow flag was. There's the lights. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything happened on the track, so...
Must have been debris.
Not really much else it could be, I think. Also got to be careful coming back up to speed because...
Now look, what did I tell the fans about getting stuff on the track?
Ironically, the 17 actually exited pit road ahead of these cars. She was already the free pass car, so she'll still get that. Now again, any lap cars in between the top 10 will also take the wave around here, so a few cars, there are some cars that are going to be able to get their laps back here.
If they can keep up the pace, that definitely would help them. Now that everybody's formed up together, everybody's going to be, well, kind of forced to form up together. And then we're going to get those two lanes again. I mean, if you fell out of the draft not due to pace, just something happened, well, now is your second chance, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Now they're gonna bring the pack. This is gonna bring the pack pretty much together. But first caution of the day out on lap number 82. So
And nobody crashed.
yeah, it wasn't even for an incident.
You know, it's just some kid who's gonna get an autograph soon.
Who's he gonna get it from?
Oh, he's gonna get it from me. I got a pen.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he'd love that.
It'll be real nice.
Maybe some kids will start throwing more stuff on the track if they get autographs from you.
I'm not so sure about giving autographs now. You know, if I offer free tickets to Beastland, does that help? You know, don't throw stuff on the track. You'll get a free ticket to Beastland.
If it's a child, yeah, it probably wouldn't help. Yeah, 17 got the free pass, so she's gotten back onto the lead lap. There's a few other cars. That are a lap down right now. Well, there's four cars that are at least a lap down. There's one car that's 3 laps down. The 31 Haveman, 46 of Yoniga, the 15 of Tollerone are all 1 lap down, and Lily Talverson is 3 down. So we have received the 1 to go. So we're gonna go back green this time. Mika Haurina leads the way. It's Youngwei Ku second, Lowry Schliesenbach third, Andrea Davison fourth, Sinley Ariston fifth, Yania Waterton 6th. Skyan Jetta is 7th. Mikhail Yatika is 8th. Alicia Byrne is 9th. And Ava Ajar Siraj is 10th. Haveman and Talberson will be the 2 lap down cars that will be waved around and will take a lap back. Haveman will become 1 lap. Haveman will get back onto the lead lap here. Talberson will go to 2 laps down.
It's a real miracle for her.
If she can get a couple more cautions and stay within the top 10 zone.
Ah, so she's hoping more kids throw trash.
Yeah, tables have turned. At least a little bit for Talberson.
Yeah, if she runs good, and another caution gets out, it could really actually change things for her. So,
Yeah, I mean she's been fast. She's been fast in this race. So. All right, pace car is off. Haurina will lead them to the green.
and here they go.
Here we go, green flag.
Are you trying to form a second line?
Yeah, but I think the key here is you want to just get a bit of a draft. You want to get a draft formed up at the moment.
Yeah, you want to get some pace first, then build a draft.
Looks like pretty much everybody is keeping pace right now, so. I don't see anybody that's really too far off the next car in front. So, no real obvious spots where a split would occur like we saw in the Continental race yesterday. We'll see if that changes, but for now, it's not really looking like there's a spot where a split might happen. Rarison takes the lead away. Sky and Jetta is up to second. And where we've pitted right now, that places the pit window pretty squarely in about where the mid-race report would take place, actually.
That should be interesting for them. And give them something to talk about.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, sometimes they need something interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I never get freebies thrown like that.
Well,
Sometimes.
usually they have to talk through a caution, so.
That's fair. That second lane just looks really weak.
It's not formed up right now.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is it's just not formed up at the moment. There's nobody that's really willing to go up there to form it at the moment. Although it's getting a little bit better.
It's trying.
There's a few cars trying to form up on the outside line, but right now it's not too many. But it's starting to get there. It's just taking a little bit.
Well, if you're a fast car and you're falling behind up there, I would try and get to the bottom lane. If you're not falling behind up there and you're part of the part of the second lane that is forming up, I would say you're fine.
Shout outs to Mimi Barino in the 3 car. She's actually made her way up to second right now. She was actually in, I believe, the 3rd group in that last run. She's climbed all the way up to second spot right now. So again, this caution, great equalizer right now. That looks like the 71 is falling off the pace just a little bit. She's falling off this lead draft at the moment.
Yeah, she was part of the top lane when it was very weak and just kind of got bumped out of the draft. If those two cars stick together, it's not going to be too bad for them. They could make their way up, but they have to stay close.
Yeah. Madison, you got word on what happened to Nietzsche Garnston?
I do. I would have had information earlier, but the team had to go through a very complicated process of diagnosing exactly what the issue was. But on the 27, it was a valve issue in one of the cylinders, in as much as to say the components that let the fuel mixture into the cylinder and expels the exhaust from it was malfunctioning. So very serious problem on the 27, unfortunately.
That would be terminal. So very unfortunate way to end the day for Nietzsche Garnston, who, well, it's been a bit of a year. For Garnston, she ran well for a while at the beginning of the year. She came very close to winning at Bathurst, and since about the mid-season mark, it's just kind of taken a turn for the worse for that 27 card. Yeah, the 71 and 15 have kind of they've dropped off the pack again here, and the 71 actually got passed by the 15. And this lead part of the pack is kind of not really doubling up yet, as somebody else is blowing up in the pack. That's
Oh my
the 52
God.
of Rachel Cole.
Oh my god.
That's gonna split them off the. That's gonna split this group off the pack as well, and that's got Tosima Vevelst. Couple playoff drivers in there.
Well, now the 71 and 15 aren't totally screwed.
Yeah, 71's gonna get up into this group. That's the second, and now that's the second Honda we've seen have engine issues today.
Must not got their setups tuned in for this track.
It's been the Dark Horse cars and the Hondas that we've seen have the big engine issues this weekend, it seems. Now, Simley Arariston's still out front. She's got her teammate in Mika Arena coming up into second spot, trying to make a little bit of ground up. Oh, the 10 car of Adi Stoneman.
Oh, wow.
She looked like she was already off the pace, so
Yeah.
that's pretty much just gonna kick everything out anyways for her. Just salt on the wound there.
Might explain why she was so slow, honestly.
I think another thing we're gonna see here, we got a fast car leading in the 32. What that could be is, when you get a fast car leading, it just tends to string the pack out a little more when you have a fast car out front. And that's what's happening with Rariston right now. Stoneman's made her way down pit road.
I thought the 10 blowing up was somebody else for a second.
Meanwhile, here comes Carly Byrne in the 9 car. And she's had several heartbreaks this season. Came very close to winning at Kansas. She led a lot of that race before she got taken out in a big wreck. Got taken out in the big one in Kansas.
That Kansas big one was something. I feel like that's a crush we're gonna remember for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, Carly Burns had some very good runs in that 9 car all year long. Just hasn't been able to actually manage to make the finishes work for her. Madison, do you got reports on the 2 cars that have had engine issues in this run?
Yes, I do. There have been many engine issues today, as you've seen, and there are different issues on the 10 and the 52. Of course, 52 had the valve go out, very similar to the 27, except more serious. And in the case of the 10, it was an exhaust issue that caused some serious problems back inside the engine. So that car is also done with this race. Very unfortunate ends, and this is, I'm afraid, only the beginning of troubles with engines today.
Yeah, not only do you have to run 500 miles, you have to run that extra 100 miles too that no one's really ever tried running here at Talladega, so... It looked like Yappy Malikson might have had a shot at making something happen for the lead on Rariston there, but Mimi Barrino took a dive bomb on her and took that second spot away. By the way, shout out Paisley Uria. Remember, she was a lap down in the lead pack for a while there.
Here she
Look where
is.
she is. She's in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, that's a really good like uptick in performance for her.
Really good bounce back. Taylor Happeman doing the same thing as well in that 31 car. Look at where she is. Sitting in 12th right now, in the middle of the pack right now.
That's a comeback.
Yappy Malikson's going to get second back. Barrino's going to jump down into 3rd. Yeah, it seems like Celia Rariston has been unbeatable in this run, though. That 32, I don't think has sacrificed the lead at all.
She either wants those points or she wants the win, or she'll take either.
Well, Rariston's not in the playoffs, so I think she's just kind of chasing the win right now. Top 21 cars right now in this league draft. You got this second group back here, formed up of about 7 cars.
And whatever this is.
Or this is more like 8 cars actually, because there's a lap car. And then the 99, 71, and 15 have all dropped off that pack as well. So Vebelst and Little will have to work together for at least a decent bit here.
That's an interesting matchup.
I mean, Vebelst working together with literally anyone doesn't really go well usually. So.
Yeah. Bebbles has to work with someone. Might not be happening.
It's really starting to split up around here. Pack's really stringing out right now. And again, I think that's one thing that that we're seeing right now. Celia Rariston, she seems to have a very dominant car at the moment, at least in this run. It's kind of stringing the pack out. It's kind of gonna see that the way the pack forms up is gets very stringy when a fast car leads it. When you don't have a super fast car leading the pack, then the pack isn't as stringy. It'll start getting double file because everybody, has more space to make moves.
Yeah. He's got a really fast car.
Yeah, clearly. You know, she's got another Honda behind her in a Javida in the 2 car, and Mimi Barino in a team that's moving to Honda next year in the 3 car right here.
There's cars falling out of that.
They're starting to drift off of it a little bit, but I don't think they're drifting off enough for it to be fully lose the draft territory yet. Well, I don't know about that actually.
Yeah. There's gonna be a few at least.
I think the worst car off is probably the 8 there, but I think some of these cars are just like somebody needs to do something about the 32 if we're gonna stay in the pack right now.
This race needs a hero.
These cars are keeping the draft okay.
They're trying to.
I think nobody just wants to make a move right now because, well, look what stage of the race it is right now. We're not even halfway yet. We're just inching up to it right now.
Yeah, we're only creeping into the territory.
Jar Siraj is looking to try to grab second from Barino. And the 3 and the 32 have been pretty good at collaborating up at the front, so that could also help maybe unseat it a little bit because it looks like the 32 and the 3 have been working together quite a bit.
It definitely did look like that, yeah. Now that she's shuffled out to the top lane and well behind her.
Yeah, she's shuffled the 3 back behind her.
Oh, yep. Look at that. 91 got a good run, which is dragging everybody else up there.
Yep.
And now Vancy's looking on the inside.
I think these cars have actually fully dropped off. 13, 64, and 8 look like they're pretty well dropped off, so they'll probably get picked up by this second group back there.
Well, that's something to the second group.
Yeah. And I think that second group is kind of in the boat of these are the cars that are just kind of trying to finish the race, get points without damaging the car.
How far behind are they anyway?
They're about 14 seconds behind
Jeez.
at the moment. Still, though, that's 22nd to 28th place right now, so ignoring the 39 of Talbertson. Jar Siraj got sent to the back now. Well, sent to the high side at least. And now the Burn sisters teaming up here, the 9 and the 91 here. Well, I say that and they just split off.
I think they wanted to contradict you.
Yeah, that happens. Now Mika Harina trying to grab second, make it in Atlantic Racing 1-2.
Harina's looked strong. Didn't have perfect luck, but she ended up getting a good cycle, and she didn't lose this pack, and now look at her, she's in second place.
Yep. You know, that's another thing, is that that caution really helped a lot of cars that got stuck in the second pack.
Yeah.
Because it brought them into this lead group. It brought a lot of those cars that got stuck in that second pack back into the lead group, and it's dragged them back in, you know, for the running for the race lead and maybe the race win if this is how it stays for a bit at least.
Well, things change a lot at Talladega, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these drivers do end up still staying in a position for victory here.
Yeah, there's 17 cars right now maintaining the lead draft. We're approaching the halfway marker. It will be this time by. And we'll be halfway through the Polymarket 600. We'll be at the 300-mile mark. And they take it. With Cinlia Rariston out front, but being the halfway leader is not always a great stat, especially at a track like this. This is about actually a 4-car group back here. Now, as Perry Alicantes drop back to these cars. Rariston holding very steady at the front of the field. Nobody's really tried to challenge her for that race lead. For, well, pretty much this whole run, since we went back green, it's looked like the 32 has been the car that nobody wants to go up against.
Well, it looks very clear that she wants to win, and if anybody else here also wants to win, I think you don't want to push her right now. I feel like now's not the time to push her. I feel like you want to do that a little later into the race. Maybe if we get a caution, you know, we get different setups, green flag, the pits even could change things up a lot. So I feel like if you want to win here, you don't got to push her yet.
Ava Jarosaraj is here. You know, you have 3 of the 4 Atlantic racing cars in this lead draft. Because the 34, 62, and 32 are all up here. The 64 kind of drifted back a little bit. Actually, the 64 is coming to pit road.
Is that scheduled or?
We'll see. It's about it's a little early for the window, but it's not unfathomed. Well, with that being said, we're going to take you down to the FanDuel Fan Studio for our FanDuel mid-race report with Rasha and Madison down there in the studio. They'll be covering all the things here in the middle of the race that we might be we might be looking forward to in the last run of the race. Rasha and Madison, take it away, you two.
Yeah, here we are for the FanDuel mid-race report here, as we have this, I wouldn't say so much grueling unless you're an engine manufacturer, but it's definitely quite the long race here at Talladega. Had quite a number of engine problems, and I think that's really been kind of the dominant story of the day. What do you think, Rashia?
Yeah, it's been a long race here, as expected. As we watch the 32 of Cynthia Raristoun command the field, haven't seen a lead change since we've gotten the race restarted. Just the one caution for debris to start in this first half of the race, and it's been like this basically the entire way, as we see about 17 cars or so in the lead pack right now, just kind of rolling around the field, rolling around the track right now, just getting the laps down as we await the next cycle of pit stops. Should be approaching pretty soon here. So the 64 of Jocelyn Nihil come down earlier. It's a little bit early. That was scheduled or not. As we see a bit of three wide here. Taylor Hackman and Yenfi Yanaga in the middle there. But most of the way, it's been 2x2 in this pack up at the front. And once again, it's the 32 leading yet another lap with her teammate behind her now. So it's what do you call it? It's an Atlantic Racing 1-2 here at Talladega.
Yeah, definitely they've looked like one of the strongest contending teams throughout the day, although do take that with a pinch of salt given it's Talladega, and as we mentioned earlier, this track lives and breeds chaos, so anything can change in pretty much an instant around here, but right now definitely in the calmer stages aside from the periodic engine failures that we have, and we're starting to get pit stops. Our two leaders and a few others coming in.
Our pair of leaders, a few other cars from the back of the front pack here. That's gonna leave the 91, I believe. Yes.
That sounds right.
Again, 91 of Alicia Burr taking the lead with just not many cars here. You can see just 6 cars left from this lead pack. Kind of broken up a little bit from that. Broken up a little bit from the split of cars coming in. As we see the pit cycle here, you mentioned things changing at the drop of a hat. It's been the kind of race. It's we mentioned the engine problems potentially being an issue. It's seemingly been a problem for some teams at the very least. And you see more cars coming in here. Even more cars coming in. 7 more cars coming in this time. Coming out.
Okay, so with these pit stops happening, do you really think that the overcut versus undercut matters here? Because when we go to many of the tracks on the schedule lately, it's been a lot of, I'd say, tracks where definitely that does matter a lot. But do you think it really matters that much for super speedways? Obviously, the main sort of idea is you pit with a number of other partners, not so many that you get clumsy on pit road, but also not so few that you don't have a powerful enough draft to catch back up to the other packs. So do you really think that sort of conventional pit wisdom, like overcutting and undercutting, really works here?
Sort of, but not really. I mean, ooh,
oh my gosh, that is a crash on pit road.
Hard. Yeah.
We'll see if they throw the yellow for that.
And that was...
I don't believe they will.
I don't think
but
so.
the 6 way overshot it and ran into the back of the 62.
That's going to really affect the number 62 cars. More cars coming in here. Lots of Toyotas here. All Toyotas, actually. You can see two of the Southwest cars, both of the Florbit cars, and the 26. The Inverness car of Sophie Chantose coming in. A bunch of Toyotas coming in at once. It's another thing you see oftentimes. Manufacturer teamwork. Just see a bit of that occurring as well. You often see packs of cars of the same manufacturer coming in at once in these green flag stops. And we've kind of seen a bit of that. 23 here. Yappy Malikson leading by herself. Just interesting. We saw the 62 of Vinnie Schultz do this yesterday, and it worked to her benefit. Just kind of staying out an extra lap. Didn't really affect her, even though she ran a lap out of the draft effectively and came out by herself. It really depends on where the timing of your exit off pit road is, I think.
Absolutely. I think personally, you mentioned Malkson coming in by herself. And yeah, that worked out for Vinny Schultz yesterday, but I really am not convinced that that's the best way to go because obviously when you have multiple cars, you draft off each other
Yeah.
and you're faster. I think we all know that. If you're alone, you don't have that benefit. You have no one to push you and you have no one to reduce your airflow. So not only are you getting worse fuel mileage, you're also getting worse speed on the track. So I would think that, you need some luck to make the go it alone strategy work.
Yeah.
And even that's saying something, but
Here's the pack
we'll
right
see if it
now.
works out for the 23. They will all get back into a pack eventually, so we'll see if this really has any ramifications on the long run.
Oh, here comes Mountain coming out right in front of the main pack. It's gonna be pretty close. The thing is, in these packs, these smaller packs do tend to get slowed up quite a bit by cars that are also coming off the pit road later than them. We saw that with the 91, who came in a lap later, and 23 is gonna do the same thing to these guys here. They're kind of getting
You
stuck
do
behind.
also tend to get swallowed up more quickly when you're by yourself because you have less speed and momentum.
Yeah.
And we didn't see that much of that there, but we almost did, to where the 23 was nearly just completely consumed by the pack.
Yeah, these packs are all very strung out though, so it's not as much of a concern. But that's let the 32 Rivera's break away a little bit, but all by yourself with just 2 cars. So I think these 2-3 packs here, adding the pack of cars behind, they're all gonna form their own pack here, I think. Which is interesting. You see the 32, the 31, 23s. 23 made up pretty well. And all the
Yeah,
way
it
down to
definitely
the
looks like we're
22s.
gearing
About
up to,
10 11 cars. Ooh, that's a lot.
Caution is out now. I
yeah.
believe it is for
72.
72 Janet Parkings.
Definitely one of the cars involved. There's a lot of smoke on the triangle grass there. Someone may have either blown an engine, spun out, or done both at the same time somehow. Oh,
Well,
there-
we will definitely have information
oh, there
on
it
that,
is.
whether we
There
see
is
the
an
8 on
issue
pit
there.
road.
There's a car coming into pit road still. There's another car coming into pit road. I think that was a 15. 72 is limping, very damaged. That's gonna reset the race all over again right after the pit cycle, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, honestly, and I'll definitely be interested to see like what happened with the 72 and 8 as you see Parkings
Yeah.
limping around the track. I highly doubt, because everybody just came to pit road. I don't really see the Zenza coming in again, given we're only
yeah.
about 100 laps to the finish.
Yeah. You could come in, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter right now.
Like, yeah, why would you do it?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter right now. If you're at the front, just maintain track position. It doesn't, you just wanna,
Assuming nobody comes in, I'd definitely like to have a look at the both what happened with the 6 and the 62, just to get a better analysis of that, and more importantly, the 72 and the 8. Oh, hang on a minute.
Everyone gonna come in, actually. If everyone comes in, that's a bit of a move.
Really?
Yeah, 46 is gonna wave around, obviously. First car one lap down. Everybody's gonna
If
come
everybody
in.
comes in, I'll still be baffled as to why, but
38? 38 lap down? No, 38 I think is on the lead lap.
because all the cars that stayed out
Yeah,
are
it is so
off the lead lap, right?
No, a few cars staying out. 38, I think, is on the lead lap. 62 and
Is she?
39? I think Young Waiku's on the lead lap. I think that car is staying out. I think she will inherit the
I
lead at
don't
the end
think
of it.
so, but we'll see. Okay, somehow you were right.
No, yeah, see? Yeah. So just a few
We
cars,
have a
though.
whopping, I think, 3 cars that stayed
I
out.
think so. I think of all the cars here that stayed out, and the rest are going to take a wave around and get a lap back here, so
Well,
makes sense
we'll
for
get
that.
our
Makes sense for
electronic
that.
timing here and
Everybody
see how
else-
it 2 cars stayed out.
2 cars?
Young Waiku and Mauricia Vebbles. That's
Yeah.
it. Just 2 cars.
Just 2 cars. I mean, when it comes to track position, I think we might as well take it.
Like, I don't really understand the logic of filling up again, because I don't really think that aligns that well with pit
Yeah,
windows.
This
Like,
isn't particular. I was gonna say this isn't particularly. We're not at a point in time right now. In the race, I should say, where topping off is going to give you that little extra advantage. But hey, you never know. I feel like.
mm-mm.
And
But let's have a look. I think I would like
yeah,
to see it
I'd like to see
happen
what
with
happens as well.
the 72 and the 8. Of course, we saw Parkings limping around the track, and obviously the 8 on pit road.
Oh,
Now, obviously, parking's out of the race.
Yeah.
We can get a quick look at that.
Oh,
So we
zoom
see
back.
it
Oh,
happening here in the trial.
I
Okay,
see- I
starts
see
further
an
up
8
actually
car.
with the 8.
I see an 8 car.
There's Schliesenbach.
Trying to get up the
Blows
pit.
an engine, and I believe gets run over.
What? That's that.
Oh, she just
goes
goes into the wall,
wrong
slips on her own
yeah,
oil.
She turns to the right, and the 72 runs into her.
And yeah, 72 got caught up in the oil too and couldn't
Yeah,
stop.
couldn't quite stop it. That's the only cars involved there. 62. Oh, these cars are gonna come in. Okay. Except for the 30 and 99. These guys obviously staying
Cars.
out. Yeah. Not much change at the front though. Outside of those two cars, pretty much everyone who was at the front before are at the front right now. Everyone pretty much on the same side, just topping up on fuel. But if you're the 30 and 99, might as well try to take an advantage here. Try to get up front. Regardless, though, still about 30 cars running, which 126 laps in, not bad. That's pretty good. Actually, I honestly think that's pretty good. There's
Not
still,
terrible, I suppose. I mean, you do have a lot of reliability issues, and some of the cars that are still running have wounded engines, so definitely as far as the engines go, as we mentioned a few times before, it's definitely a bit of an issue, and I guess we'll see how that develops later in the race, especially as that desire to win the race kicks in, and we see sort of things ramp up and get more aggressive and perhaps a bit more reckless.
I mean, yeah. Obviously, right now we're sitting at about 100 laps. We're sitting at 100 laps to go here, so we're approaching the home stretch, but we're not quite there yet. Though definitely, I think once we start getting to once we have that, at least get to 50 to go, that's when things are probably going to start to change, and it's only going to ramp up from then on, I think. But we do still have a few more few more green flag pit cycles if we do go green the rest of the way. That's going to continue stringing out the field, obviously. I do wonder what these drivers will do if they do get a short green flag run to the end. I think they would be very aggressive if that ever comes to pass.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, I mean, you talk about drivers potentially getting aggressive on short runs. Who could do what? As far as our FanDuel fan picks, who do you think you have selected as your preferred driver to win?
Ooh, this is a tough one here. Lots of cars still competitive. Obviously, you could pick a name out of a hat, and I'd probably find a way to talk about them right now. Because at this point,
Pick a random number?
at this point, might as well, right? I feel like let's go with a driver that's a little bit of a odd situation here playoff wise. Let's go with the 31 actually. Let's go with Taylor Happerman. Where is she at in points? She's obviously just out. Yeah, she's just outside of the playoff bubble, of the playoff cut line, I should say, sitting 4 points behind Abby Little in the 71. The MNC Racing machine, who is still running as well. I think there. Yeah, you can see her there at the back, at the end of the lead lap. But with all the shenanigans afoot right now, is there a particular reason? Is there a particular thing I think that would induce you to pick a driver or a team over a specific one right now? Obviously, the Atlanta cars look really good as well, but they've been snake bitten in a few places. The 64 obviously had to come down to pit road earlier, and other Hondas have had problems. The 27 and 52 have had engine problems. But I feel like if there's any team that's been really snake bitten today, or this weekend in general, it's the Dark Horse JSM drivers. They've had 4 engine problems across both series, affecting their drivers, including ones in the playoffs, at least in Continental. This is Continental with the 65 of Latanya Gray, who was on pole. So some teams definitely pushing the envelope quite a bit and suffering a little bit because of that. But I don't think we haven't seen a Chevy with an engine problem, have we? I need to double check that.
I don't know. Well, as far as my pick for FanDuel fan picks, I'm gonna pick Mauricio Bebels. This aggressive style of racing definitely suits her personality, and of course that strategy to get up toward the front as we head to this restart definitely could pay off very well. Plenty of time to figure that out, though, as we wrap things up here in the mid-race support and for the restart, send things back up to the booth.
As we get back going green, Ellie, do you have a FanDuel fan pick for the the remainder of this race? Who do you think is going to be the one who goes to victory lane?
It's kind of hard to pick right now. Well, the reason I say this is because we just got to halfway, which for Talladega, that's a lot can change in between then, right? So I would have to really kind of just go off of current performance, which again could also change. The aggression could be picked up way more soon, because again we're only halfway through. Out of drivers who have performed really well today, though, I have to say Mika Harina is one of them. I've been eyeing her the whole race. Obviously, there's the 32. She's been cooking. Now, in terms of who do I think could end up being in a position, no matter what changes, I think Mika Harina is one of them. I think her pit crew has been really solid on keeping her on having decent cycles. I mean, again, cycle after cycle, look where she's ending up. I think next pit cycle, the same will happen again, and she'll tune up the aggression with everybody else and have a decent race. I think she can do it.
Well, everybody left me the freebie, so I'm going to take the 32, Cynthia Rarison. I don't think I've seen a car not get passed on a green flag run at Talladega ever, really. She led that entire run, and no one ever was able to make a move to get by her. That's how fast this 32 car is. And I think, oh, the 31 is coming down pit road. Well, excuse me about that. Anyways, I don't think I've ever seen anybody dominate a green flag run as much as I saw the 32 do that here. So I think Cynthia Rarison is the driver that's going to go to victory lane here. I think she's got the strongest case right now for getting to the win. With that being said, that is our FanDuel mid-race report. And we have just over 90 laps remaining in this race. Pacelin Yeria has taken the lead away. Ava Jarsaraj in the 98 is up here. We got Mauricio Bebels in third. And Bebels had gotten shuffled out of the pack earlier on. She's managed to get back up here, stayed out on strategy, got back up to the front because of it. And now look at this. She's in the top 5 right now. She looks like she has a shot to win the race.
Wonder what happened to the 31.
I can't really tell. She's gonna exit back out onto the track in front of the leaders here. Again, she won't... She won't be parked. They're gonna have to navigate through her here.
Yeah, they gotta be
Leaders
careful
are.
here.
She's still getting up to speed.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. I
That
don't know
was
what she was doing.
close.
But that let the 2 take the lead of Isa Ijagida. The problem is she's gotten a bit too big of a lead. She's got about almost a half a second lead, and that is not the kind of lead you want at a track like this. Is on DQ watch. She's running about 57-second laps. They're gonna tell her that she is done for the day. That damage is looks like it's gonna be terminal to Halasukevic's race.
She was running really good until that damage.
Yes, she was, and it's very unfortunate that that's how it ends for the 62. An incident that was not her fault. Not in any way. And it's really going to hurt her in that playoff race because she already came in behind the cutoff. And that's put her in an even worse spot going into Martinsville, a track where you have to make things happen. But so far, everybody's maintaining their spot on the draft at the moment.
Yeah, no one's really fallen out.
Kind of
Some
surprising.
shuffling's going
Lisa
on.
Ijagida managed to actually hold on to her position here. They're doing some decent shuffling at the moment.
Are they actually forming a middle lane that's solid now?
They might be.
Look who's not dead anymore. Abby Little.
Yeah, she's actually hanging on with the lead group right now. Alicia Vancy's kind of sitting at the tail end Charlie right now, but that may just be kind of part of her game plan. I think as well, some things that might be part of the game plan if you're a playoff driver is just backing off and not being particularly aggressive at the moment because that's what's going to get you hurt. Here comes Sophie Chantazé looking for the race lead on Ijavida. You got Marisha Webelst following her up. That's another car I would say who's not dead because she was she was back there with Little. Tabrizia Tolrone, who was also back there with those two.
Look where she is now.
Yeah, she's up here in the top. Well, she's not in the top 5 because she's still a lap down right now, but she's trying to do all the work she can to get that lap back.
Yeah. She's running
Nancy
good.
has fully dropped off the pack right now. This one car in terms of lap time, and a bit off, but not DQ pace. Meanwhile, here comes Alicia Byrne, the 91 car. She's got Jetta following her. Here comes Irania Tosima in the 93, driver who started on pole at the first couple laps. Haven't really seen much of her since then. She's kind of gotten stuck in the back packs multiple times over. But look at where she is now.
Yeah, she got shuffled out to one of those second packs that was really slow, and now she's doing really solid.
Yep. And we saw Laurie Schliesenbach, who had that engine issue where she went out of the race and got struck by the 72 of Janet Parkings. Schliesenbach, I will mention that Schliesenbach was already pretty much past the pit road by the time she could have made that move, and I think the car just slid in its own oil. I wanted to give that assessment just to correct a couple things I heard. Tosima gets another lap led. Arlen Hanstrom is up here. You got Eva Jarsraj. How about another car that we haven't really talked much about? Perry Alicantes in the 18 car. She's up here towards the front of the field. There are a couple cars in this lead pack right now that are a lap down. Now the one is starting to drop below DQ pace. Jarsraj and Abriella fighting for the lead. Abriella held it at the line. There's Pace Lanieri in that 17 car, just kind of moving in the lead at the moment.
Nobody else with her. Oh, well.
Well, the 15's in the middle lane, but I think she might slot back down to the bottom. Meanwhile, how about Perry Alicante? She's taking the lead, and I believe she'll actually come around and lead her first lap today. Right here.
That's a comeback.
Yeah, we haven't really talked much about that 18 all day. But I think that's a car that's worth kind of having kind of chatting about, because, you know, she's comes in, finished 6th last week in Oregon, looking for some points to get on the board.
And now she's running pretty solid here.
Yeah. Won back at North Wilkesboro. She also won at Denver, which has a lot of draft-heavy elements to it. And the unfortunate mark for Halis Jukovic is she's not going to go to victory lane. She's not going to be able to... she's not going to be able to show her plate racing prowess here at the end of this race. How about Mika Gennaro on the 42 car? Again, she's being released after this weekend. Looking to maybe step it up. At least try to get a spot. You know, maybe at least if she can win a race, she can convince some team owners, hey, look at me for a cup ride.
If she can win a race, she makes a great case. Although, even if she doesn't win here and she performs really solidly by the time the race is over, I mean, that's still a case being made, nonetheless.
Yeah. You know, she's staying out front. All 4 Southwest Racing cars still in the lead pack, or excuse me, I lied. I forgot about the 6, but 3 of the 4 Southwest Racing cars in the lead pack and still in the race. Because Gennaro's up here, and so is Sky and Jetta. A little further back, but Jetta's here nonetheless. Could talk about Yappy Malikson a fair bit. She actually led a lap under pit cycle.
Yappy's been solid today.
Yeah, she runs 7th she was 7th last time they crossed the line. Yappy's been running pretty solid today. And again, this is something that she needs to do. It's something that she's continually been able to do. Even without winning a race, Yappy Malikson has been a competitor all season long. It is pretty funny that Yappy Malikson been the best driver this year. Her best finish this year, 3rd. She hasn't even finished runner-up in this season.
That is something.
That's how consistent she's been all year.
some decent, interesting shuffling going on right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on right at the moment. You see Rariston's now pushing Tolaron. It looks like that 32 is starting to try to make her way back to the front. I see Abby Little making her way up through here as well. There's the 71.
Yeah, she's 7th. Well, pushing higher now.
Yeah, might get even further up. She's got Jetta in front of her that she's just kind of following. Nobody's really made that move on the 42 yet. 42's just kind of chilling out front at the moment.
Well, she's getting some laps led. That's definitely good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, they're going to go 3 wide for second, although one of those cars is a lap down. That's Paceland Uria and Sky and Jetta that are fighting for it. It's Breezy Toller and the lap car in the middle. And now the lead lap
Oh
car
my
in the middle
God.
is Abby Little. How about Marisha Vebels working her way up through? Anya Waterton's lost pace with the pack here as well. And the one car is still running below DQ pace at the moment. I expect they'll give her 2 more laps and then they'll tell her that you are not up to pace. Meanwhile, here comes Jetta for the race lead. Again, that's teammates fighting it out. Oh, and Jetta
Ooh.
really chopped the 99 off.
That's a move I expect the 99 of Vebels to not really appreciate.
That's a move I'd expect the 99 to make, not the,
Yeah.
not the car defending against her.
She typically makes those risky moves like that.
Yeah.
19 got a good run.
It's Arlen Handstrom. Abby Little's up here with these cars, as well as Arenia Tosima. One car is coming down pit road. Again, that's because she is been kicked from the race.
Was trying to hang on in the top. And Tosima got a really great run.
Yeah, Tosima's taking the lead back again. Serena Tosima, the pole sitter for this race, about 20 years ago, now leading the way once again. She's got Alicia Byrne, Carly Byrne, Youngwei Koo, Mimi Barino, Taylor Happeman, Sophie Chantaze, Arlen Handstrom, Sinley Arariston, Sky and Jetta pretty well in the pack right now to worry about, although 31 is not to worry about. Actually, I should say Happerman is a lap down still. And we're expecting that final we're expecting that penultimate pit cycle to begin in about 10 to 15 laps.
That should get interesting.
Final pit stop will be about lap 200 from my guessing for work, basically.
W guessing.
About 36 laps for each fuel run is where I got that number, so we will see whether that is actually how it plays out or not, but overall still 2 more pit cycles left as far as I can tell.
These last 2 pit cycles are going to be super interesting, I think.
Absolutely. They absolutely will. Because that's going to be what decides the race, pretty much.
Oh, wow, that top lane got a good run. And now they dive to the bottom. Tosima is just taking it away right now.
Yeah, they're all kind of single filing up in behind that 93 car.
She looks fast.
She looks fast, but I think also a lot of these drivers trying to exercise patience right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that they've all just ditched the 93.
Yeah, they all want to. They want a freight trainer.
Chantaze will take the lead away. Rariston and Little now following. Little might try to take second. She looked, but Rariston still was clear.
She keeps looking on the inside. Kind of crazy to like look back on her performances all year, and now she's running aggressive at Talladega and has been having really solid performances this second round.
Yeah. I mean, Little comes in behind the cut, or she came in a little ahead of the cut line, excuse me.
Yeah, by 4 points.
4 points it was, yes.
Ooh, the 19 got a good run.
Yeah, Handstrom dives it down to the bottom. She's got Abriella going with her.
Oh, that's interesting shuffling right there.
They're getting all over the place, and they're sending the 93. Well, the 93 is stuck in the middle lane now. She's got nobody with her.
Yeah, they ditched her.
Dave just ditched that 93. They don't want to see Tosanity.
They got a little annoyed with the Tosanity run.
She's already got 4 wins this season. I assume they don't want to see her get any more.
Yeah, they told her enough's enough.
Alicante's now out front. There's a bit of a lap car now. That they're starting to form a decent middle lane, though.
Yeah, that looks
15,
strong.
19, 93, and 22 in there.
The 39 and Little looked to dive, but didn't have enough room for a second.
64 thought about jumping up there. She is going to jump up there. 99's coming to pit road. I think she had to come to pit road a bit early, considering the 99 had to come to pit road a bit early because she stayed out on the last pit cycle. She was what, short of this by about, sort of where the expected cycle was by about 6 laps. That shouldn't affect her for the finish of the race. But she did just pit by herself here.
Her and water.
Coming to pit road now. And again, that's another car
Oh,
who stayed out.
there comes more.
There's Uria. The 99 and 17 can get hooked together.
We'll do something.
It will help them. 17 coming to pit road there, by the way, took off a good chunk of the pack. It kicked about 6 cars off the lead draft here.
Yeah.
Maybe 7. Okay, we got a bunch of cars. 93's coming to pit road. 71, 26, 20, 2, 38 are in. This is a lot earlier than I expected.
It's a lot of cars together, though.
Yeah, a lot of cars together, and that's going to help them coming down pit road here.
A lot of fast cars, too.
This probably could end up giving us another pack split, too. 64 is down pit road. Anybody in the back coming? No, 64 is going to be in by herself. That is not good, especially considering that the 64 has 2 teammates in the lead pack that could have come with her to help her, and they ditched her.
They left her dry.
Kind of like me sometimes.
What are you on about?
Here comes a bunch of these lap cars. Or not lap cars, but cars that are just coming out of pit road. Out of the pit. Oh man, Koo almost ran up into some of the lead lap cars. '91 is in. Spirit mostly stayed out though. '99 actually managed to drive off a little bit there. Oh, 64 that time also merged a bit awkwardly. Got into the 32.
That might hurt
Just
her.
a tiny bit. Now here comes a bunch of cars. 16, 32, 21, 15 are in. Oh, the 15 just ran into the 21. No yellow. We stay green. Made the same mistake that like Jasmine did. The 3 of Barino is almost stopped on pit road right now.
Are they good?
Clearly not. And these cars are going to get held up because they can't figure out how to get around the 3. I think Waterton's trying to give Barino a bit of a push here. As a team car.
Is she stalling?
I think the 3 is out of fuel.
Oh. If you go down, I go down, teammate.
Well, Waterton was already pretty well. Her race was already pretty well over, so.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that.
Their team got the 3 all the way out to turn 3 or turn 2. That's gonna break up a fair few cars here, though, I think. Where is the 3 going? He's very much stalling on the racing line right now. Oh, then 46 and 99. Oh!
Oh my. Oh my.
Marisha Vebels did not want to let off.
It's always Vebels, doesn't it?
Yes. Three car is gonna stall it in turn 3 there, I think. It's the 46. I'm still trying to figure out what even is happening in terms of who the leader is, but I believe apparently it's the 34 right now.
Nobody is together right now, and it's really funny.
Yeah, the packs are pretty well broken, although this is where we see that first kind of group get formed up here. They're starting to close in. This pack is starting to form up again, and they're closing in on the second place car.
That should help.
And a lot of this really hurts some car. A lot of that, especially the 3 being stalled, hurt a bunch of cars. The 22 got held up severely from it. The 99 also got hurt when she, well, drove down the apron. Battling the 46 for some reason.
It's Vebels. You never know what's going on with her.
That's true. They've caught up to the 98, so it is second back to 18th that's formed a pack. So we really haven't lost very many cars at all from the lead pack right now, actually. One car's coming to pit road. Yeah, there's gonna be. They're gonna see what the time gain is, but the 34 has like nobody to work with right now, and they've gained about 2/10. So, well, the 3 car is at least back on the track.
Well, that's good for the 3 car. This pack looks very confused.
I would be too. This whole pit cycle has been confusing. Yeah, there's the leader, Mika Harina, in the 34 car. Catching the 30 and the 31 just exited pit road. This might actually help them gain a little bit of a draft.
Got some extra drafting partner coming up.
Kind of slowing this group up a tiny bit, but I think she'll get back up. I think she'll get back up to speed with everybody pushing her here.
It should definitely help.
Yeah. So we got about 18 lead lap cars, well 17 lead lap cars in this draft, and it's literally only the leader that's away from this pretty much. I think they're going to start gaining time again here. Yeah, they're down to about 1.9 seconds. So this group is going to catch up.
And they're gonna probably do it fast. They have a solid amount of cars here too.
And I think they're starting to get a whiff of the 13's draft here too, so... Oh, they definitely are. They'll probably see the gap close up by around a second this time, maybe more. Yep, it was more than a second actually.
Ooh, that is a lot.
They've caught up now. So it's pretty much anybody in this lead pack, they've got a chance to get back in this race. Got a chance to get towards the front here at least. Oh,
Oh
and the
my
38
God.
just blew up in the back of the pack. Youngwei Ku.
That could have been really bad, but they all handled it really well.
Yep, they all got through that pretty solid. They all got through that pretty fine. Here we go for the lead. 26 of Chantaze on the 34 of Haurina.
Now we've gotten a lead change.
Yep. And now the race is really on. We've got cars kind of taking looks to the middle at the moment.
That 26 car's got good pace, especially with everybody pushing her.
'21 is not meeting pace, so she's going to be parked here. Looks like the 3 is definitely not meeting pace, so
Goodbye 3 and 21.
they're starting to form that third lane just a bit easier right now, it looks like. But it still doesn't look...
As strong.
Yeah. Addison, what do you got on the 38?
Well, it is a melted piston chamber on the 38, which is a, well, as you'd imagine, very serious issue. So that is obviously day over for the 38, and definitely difficult as, you know, the last restart we had, she was leading coming to that, and definitely looked like there could be some kind of optimism, but not going to happen, unfortunately.
Very tough luck, especially for that team. They're closing down at the end of the season, so they're hoping for maybe a good run.
That is unfortunate for them.
It's not going to happen. The team had both of its engines go sour today. Yeah, look at that. Look in the pack. There's the third lane. It's starting to really form. Occasionally it breaks up a little bit, but it's getting a lot easier to form that third lane now. I think that these cars are starting to not care as much about being aggressive. And you don't want to care as much about being aggressive now because, well, look how much time is left in the race.
Yeah, we're towards the end now. Here's where you can really start making moves that'll matter.
We're coming to 40, this is 46 laps to go. .46 is just barely meeting minimum speed pace, so... Looks like she'll be fairly okay in terms of running towards, in terms of how these cars catch up to her. should be one more pit stop, or I'm expecting that last stop is going to be around laps 196 to 200. Everybody should be very, very good to make it by then.
They're trying to force that middle lane.
Yeah, the lap car's getting in the way. It should be good to make it to the end from lap 200 or 196. The earliest they could conceivably pit and still make it, I believe, is about 190, and I don't think we're going to see anybody come in then.
Yeah, that might be a little too early. I don't see why
Marina's
you would pit then.
trying to make a move on the inside, but she has no help.
No help, at least not yet.
And she's going to get some, though. The 64's closing up.
And now everybody else is.
It's not going to matter, though. The 26 is going to hold the lead on the outside.
Outside was actually stronger.
Well, yeah, but the 34 didn't have that help yet, and the 26 did, and that's what gave it to the 26.
Yeah. I have to say, Shantaze is cooking.
Yeah, that 26 has looked very fast all day.
And she's especially strong now.
Yep. Don't count out that 20 of Gabriella.
You can tell they're really starting to push it now.
Yep. There's only about a couple groups here. There's this 4-car group that's kind of trailed off. This is from 16th back to 19th. You know, high level of attrition in this race. Even then, still not a lot. Still not really very many incidents in this race. Just a high level of attrition.
Yeah, not many incidents that have been very massive at all.
Here comes Alicantes for the lead. The 18 car looks to the inside. You got Nihale looking to push that 18. The 20 car bailing on the 26 there. Going down to the inside. The 18 will take it. But will she be clear to hold off? She tried to block the 20, but she was not clear.
And the top lane actually got a good run.
Yeah, we'll see if she maybe gets clear this time, but I don't think she will. The 20's going to be there.
Yep, the 20's got it.
Got Nihale pushing.
Now the high lane's pushing too.
Yeah, Alicante's got a big run down the back. still side by side. Alicantes.
They are fighting for it.
Alicantes will manage to keep the lead.
That was some impressive stuff right there.
They're going 3 wide back here at the tail end of the pack.
For whatever reason.
Why not? Just bored, I guess.
Yeah, they're picking fights they find are possible, I guess. High Hill's going middle lane, anyone?
See if anyone wants to follow that 64, but it doesn't look like it.
Now they're shuffling a bit.
And they're shuffling around just a bit. Alicantes. Alicia Byrne to Gabriella. And then, Tosima just dove it 3 wide here on Yanniga and Shanse. And Fianaga is a lap down.
I think Abby wants that bottom. She'll get the middle instead.
Periella Contes holding on to the lead. Here comes Shantaze looking to the inside though. 26 trying to make the move for it, and she's got way more help. The 18's been hung out. Or has she? The 93 goes back up to the 18. Now she doesn't.
And Shantaze just remains strong.
Alright, don't look now though. The 32 is here. She's gonna look to go to the inside of the 93, maybe for a second.
Another really strong car.
And again, we're approaching the pit window. I would not be surprised at all if we see some cars make a move to come to pit road fairly soon, within the next 8 to 10 laps. Again, we're pretty much within the window now of where you can make it. It's going to be go time fairly soon, and I think go time is going to strike as soon as that final pit cycle. Everyone, I think, is kind of trying to outweight each other right now. See the 16 of Angetta.
Everyone's trying to push each other and wait, yeah. Right now we're at the point where it's risky to pit before anybody else does, but
Okay, I see
somebody's
some
got to do
cars
it.
Jumping to the high side, 18. 18 is in.
Alright, there you go.
Alicante's first taker, and it looks like she's going to be by herself coming down pit road.
See, that's why it's risky, because if you're the only one doing it,
It hurts.
It hurts you a
Hurt
lot.
you. But now within the next 5 to 6 laps, I'd expect pretty much everybody in this lead pack to make their stop. Nobody's in right now. Here goes Mika Harina looking for the lead. Closing in on the 200th lap of the race here in Talladega. And we're also closing up on the 3-hour mark of the race.
Long race, but it hasn't felt like 3 hours.
Yeah. 71, 32, 19, 42. All coming in, all diving down pit road.
71 gave her a little bump.
So these 4 cars all coming together. 99 also came down pit road right there. The more the 18 is by herself, the more it's going to hurt her to be pitting by herself. And that could take her out of the chance to win this race. And look at all these cars trying to jump up high to try and avoid running into each other. 26, 34, 98, all down pit road.
All really fast cars, too.
Yep.
That'll be a good pack.
And I think a good chunk of that bottom lane is going to come in this time.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not.
Wow. Are they skipping? Playing mind games?
2, 20, 17. Okay, 3 more cars. Just a group of 3 there. They're all kind of coming in very small groups at the moment. Team's trying to slow these cars up a fair bit, I think. I think a lot of these cars are in this time, though. 93 and 64. I lied.
They are not in this time.
It's just 2 cars. But that's still more than hitting by yourself, so. For Tosima, I would accept that.
Well, you got one drafting partner, you can make up some ground. You got no drafting partner, you're not making up anything.
Yeah. Alright. Last 2 lead lap cars, 91 and 16, are in. These 2. The last 2 lead lap cars that hadn't come down pit road yet, they will be in now. Everyone should have the fuel to make it to the finish. 93 and 64 exiting. Again, it remains to be seen how well the pack will form back up.
Looks like 93 is trying to go to the back.
There's a bit bigger of a group back here with these cars. See the 31's come down pit road, but she was a lap down at the moment. Yeah, there's the 91 and the 16.
Looks like everybody's almost gonna catch each other, so I don't think they'll be split too badly.
I don't think the split's gonna be that bad, yeah. I mean, the 16's not gonna mix in with the leading group right now, which is the 34s, 26, 20, and the 2. '91, I think, is gonna cycle out the best of all of them.
They're catching up.
Well, we'll see if they're catching up. They haven't really had a full lap to load in here.
Fair enough.
Now, the 16 has been off the draft for a bit, so what happens with her is going to be kind of... Well, actually, interestingly enough here, this is a group of about 11 cars here. That front group was only about 5, maybe 6 once the 39 slides in. So this group will probably get back up to them.
And they're not really fighting each other either.
Now this group being held up by a lap car as well in the 92 of Yatica. Yeah, they gained. They gained quite a bit, actually.
Gained
They
a
gained
lot.
half a second. They're not going to be gaining as much as they were on the 34, but they'll still be gaining quite a bit. And now with these cars going by the 39, that actually means they don't have anybody to draft off of to even gain a little bit of an advantage anymore, so... And the 26 may end up losing this group as well here, so that could even bring them even closer.
That would be something.
You know, they lost time there, actually. Now they're going too wide up here again. That may end up dragging them back. I don't know. Yeah, they are not visibly closer.
They're about the same, yeah.
It may come down to this group of about 5 lead lap cars here. It may not, though. It's going to be very dependent on how side by side they're going to get and how side by side this group gets. This group gets single filed out for a decent bit. And this group isn't. That may be all they need.
They look more together.
And they gained that time.
They stay like that.
They can get enough. If they can get enough to get a bit of a whiff of draft. Oh, the 31, the lap car, not playing nice in this group either. They've got a fast car leading this line, though. Oh, never mind. 31's pitting. That's why she was stepping out. I'm gonna say they look closer, and they are closer. They
Yeah.
can get close enough to get a bit of a sniff of draft here off of this lead group. That could pretty much be all they need. They don't need to gain.
Ooh, they
They
look
don't
close.
need to gain 2 seconds by themselves. They need to gain 1.
They look really close.
I think they're doing what they need to do, at least at the moment.
They're very single file for the most part.
Yep. But that didn't. They kind of got stuck out. And in fairness, though, this group is also catching the 99. Both these groups very single file. This might be a good gaining lap. Oh, it could have been. Although the tail end of this pack actually dropped back a lot. That's what it is, and that may also help them. They only need to catch the tail end to get in play here.
That's all they really need, yeah. And since they got like a slight gain last time, it doesn't mean they're like losing pace yet either, so. Oh, they're getting close.
Yeah, but is it close enough? Oh, I think it is actually. Yeah, they've closed up a lot actually. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get in. It's gonna be about how many cars? It's gonna be 15 cars for the win here at the end.
That's gonna be something, and we're getting close to
Well, it might
that.
actually be 14. I think the 71's lost the draft. So I think Abby Little's kind of lost the draft here, but at least she'll get a top 15 finish if she can keep that position right now.
They sacrificed her.
Hey, it'll be a good points haul for her.
True.
That's what she needs.
Oh yeah, she is far behind.
So it'll be the top 14 cars in this lead group. I'm assuming the 93 is going to keep up, but I think she can. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to. Yeah, the cars in that second group, they're here. They've gotten here.
They definitely did. They had good pace. Something about them looked so fast.
14 laps to go in the Talladega 600. Harina, Dijavida, Alicia Byrne, the top three. Gennaro, Alicantes, and Jeddah, Nihil, Rariston, Abriella, Yiria, Handstrom, Ajarsaraj, Tosima all have a shot. Well, I don't know if Tosima is going to be able to hang on here to the draft. I think she's kind of fallen off too. And again, it's very possible that after 600 miles, it could just come down to... It could end up coming down to who has a bigger nose, really, here. Because that's what it might take to win this race at the start-finish line.
Well, aren't they all, pretty much the same dimensions?
Eh, some of the cars have a bit of a kick out towards the nose, to be fair.
Oh yeah, Tessima fell out.
Yeah, Tosima's dropped out. Ooh, look at this. They are forming up that middle lane quite a bit now.
A working middle lane now. They're actually doing it.
The aggression is kicking up. Gennaro now leading. Rariston in second as we reached our windows. 11 to go. Rariston looks to the inside. And it's 13 cars with a shot at the win after almost 600 miles.
This has been great racing.
It has. And it's been very clean racing.
Yeah, one of the cleanest races I think I've watched in the AWSCO series. And it's Talladega.
Yeah. Not the track we expected to see that at, huh?
Oh, I never expect Talladega to go clean like this.
Arena now leading. As she's taken that away from Gennaro. Trying to close the door on Paceland Yuria. Yuria's got her teammate behind her again. Just as they were when they won Watkins Glen 2 weeks ago.
She goes high to defend. Yep. She still hangs on. Harina's running good.
Yeah, but here comes the 91 of Alicia Byrne.
91 got a good run.
91's got a good run. The 64 is up here as well. Here comes Byrne. Looks to the inside.
Burns on the inside.
She doesn't have help. The 64 went with her teammate. Can Alicia do it anyways? The 31's gonna bail on the 64 and take it to the middle, then to the bottom.
Now I think the 91 might have it.
And now the 91's gonna have the 98 here in a bit. Down the bottom lane as well.
64 still pushing Harina. Oh, this is hard.
And they might go 3 wide. The lap car's there. And it could be 3 wide for the lead if the 98 pushes. Yes, it will be 3 wide for the lead. Look at that. 3 cars right next to each other at the line. I'm sure some of us are hoping that that's how the finish turns out.
Oh, I think it will. Everyone here is super competitive. I would not be surprised.
The 9 of 22 cars have been told to come down pit road to get out of the way of the finish. You know, the 26 has just moved up here.
That's another strong car.
These two serving their stop and goes to try and keep them out of the way of the leaders. Give us just a little bit more time here. Sounds like the same treatment's going to be given to the 46 and then 13. Yeah, look at that. They're 3 wide all throughout here. 4 laps to go. Shanta Zay leads. Handstrom is second. You got a couple lap cars down there on the bottom. Well, the Yataka's now jumped up to the top lane. The lab cars are going to play a role. But how much?
They are trying to get out of the way soon. Yep. They're gone.
Oh, I mean the lap cars in the pack.
Oh. I see.
Vevelst not taking any prisoner. Three laps to go.
Love how she's running like this. A lap down.
That's just pretty standard for Marisha Vevelst.
Show off.
Here comes Rariston. Not really any lap cars now on the bottom lane. So it looks like if anybody's going to make that move, it's going to be a lead lap car. We don't have to worry about who's a lap down and who isn't. 2 laps to go. Cinlia Rariston of the 32 has just taken the lead.
Oh, this one's gonna be close.
She's got a Javida following. Pace Linearia. Abriella's on that bottom lane. Javida dives to the bottom. And the 2 car is clear. Well deep into turn 4. So I did lie, the 39 and the 31 are a lap down. White flag. 1 to go. Here comes Yiria looking for her second win of the season. In just 3 weeks in that 17 car. She's got the push and she'll take the lead.
Oh, she's got a decent lead. Here comes a 20.
Here comes Abriella, though. Does Yiria have enough of a lead to get clear the 20? No. No, she doesn't. Oh! Vevelst gets into the 34, spins out in the back. But coming to the start-finish line, Gabby Abriella is going to take the checkered flag. Abriella wins in Talladega.
That was good.
And a surprising win for Abriella here in the 20 car. Caution came out on the final lap there, but it didn't matter.
Of course it was Vevelst who caused it.
Well, what a race that was. That was very fun.
That was an amazing race.
Closest finish in Cup Series history we just managed to get. And Abriella, who I didn't really think of very much all day, comes out of nowhere on that last lap. To take the checkered flag, and she has her first AWSCO Windows Cup Series victory. Let's look and see what happened there on that final lap with the 99 and the 34.
I can't wait to witness this mess again.
Coming down the backstretch.
Trying to form a middle.
Kind of look into the middle lane. Whoa. Well, clearly she was trying to get to pit road.
Bad timing to do so.
With that being said, what did you think of that race?
I thought that was great from start to finish. It was exciting. It was very competitive. It was fun to watch. There was a lot of stories that unfolded. A lot of drivers I expected to do good did do good. and DeGabby Abriella came out of nowhere and got a shock victory. I don't think many of us really expected her or even talked about her or thought about her much this race. And she came out of nowhere and did it. And that's really impressive. And she won at Talladega.
Yeah, kind of a home track for her. She comes from South Carolina. Closest draw. This is pretty close. That's pretty somewhat close to her hometown. DeGabby Gabriella got credit. She led officially 2 laps. And with all that, we're gonna take you down to the FanDuel Fan Studio for our FanDuel post race show. We'll have analysis, our playoff update, and everything more after this exciting race from Talladega.
Yeah, and what a race as we are down here in what's actually now branded as our Polymarket post-race show. And that race at Talladega, truly a thriller from start to finish. And those 600 miles were honestly pretty astonishing. Had all the storylines you could ask for and a hugely shaken up playoff picture heading into Martinsville. What do you think, Rashia?
Yeah, that's certainly the race is the result of this race is certainly going to throw some. It's definitely going to greatly affect the standings coming into Martinsville. Obviously, lots of drivers are going to be put in pretty bad situations where they're going to have to effectively win to make their way into the next round of the playoffs. But we'll have to double check which drivers are going to be in those big holes heading into Martinsville. But yeah, fairly thrilling race here. Had a bit of a hiccup there, a bit of an ending there with the 99, but otherwise, I think very clean race. Lots of action going on the entire field. Very clean despite all of that too. Pretty much every one of the cautions were caused by something other than an incident. If it was an incident, it was caused by extraneous circumstances like a mechanical failure or something like that. But overall, a pretty decent race, and we had quite a few cars in the battle come the end of the race too, with about 12 to 13 cars or so in that lead pack at the end of the race. So definitely very good racing all around today.
Absolutely, yeah, and great racing, but not so great reliability. We look at the overall results and we see that only 22 cars actually finished the race and only 15 on the lead lap out of 40. Now, earlier in the race, it wasn't so bad, but quite a bit of, it was almost entirely engine problems that took drivers out of the race.
Yeah, obviously those mechanical failures definitely played a hand here. Lots of cars having issues, which I think definitely is one of the main talking points of this. It's going to be one of the main talking points of this race. Definitely. I mean, a 600-mile Talladega is always going to bring something like that up, to be fair. And that's kind of what we expected, I think, after what we saw here in this race. So, not entirely surprised that we had a lot of mechanical failures in this race, kind of affecting the goings on, kind of throughout the whole race. It wasn't like we didn't really see a flurry of mechanical failures. It kind of just happened steadily through the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, honestly, it sort of was a very odd kind of thing, and that, every 20 laps you got some kind of mechanical failure, and you had our pit report saying, oh, it was engine prob number 1, engine prob number 2, engine prob number 122, just that sort of thing. It was definitely, reliability did play a huge role, obviously, and one thing that I'm kind of surprised didn't play that big of a role was the traditional Talladega chaos, because of course over in NASCAR, Talladega races tend to be very chaotic, and AWSCO races generally tend to be a bit more on the chaotic side in many cases, but Talladega was kind of the opposite of what I might have expected, at least on paper coming in. Like I would have thought, oh, it's AWSCO, somewhat chaotic series, Talladega, track infamous for chaos, it's going to be quite the race in terms of that, and it really wasn't. Some wonderful clean racing all throughout.
Yeah, that's definitely something surprising. We expected at least one kind of medium to large incident to happen. That's not at all what we got. We had a few small incidents, but that was about it. The entire way was pretty much all clean. Which, I mean, I guess the wider the width of the track, this track being wider than Daytona, definitely plays a role into that. But that usually means we see drivers kind of push the envelope and go four wide a bit more. We don't really see that at all. I don't think we ever saw four wide in this race. But we did. We only saw it very sparingly, which is also a surprise.
Yes. We nearly got forward, I believe, closer to the end of the race with like 20 to go, but that was about it. And now let's go ahead and have a look at our playoff standings heading into Martinsville. So, of course, Andre Davison locked into the next round with a win. Perry Alacante's 37 above the cut line, as close as you can get to being safe without actually being safe.
Yeah,
Ife
that's a good spot.
Yasharaj is
Good spot to be.
27 up. Malkson is up 20, and Yevianaga is 13 points above. And then Waterton is at 9. Irene Tosima, the pole sitter, is at 8, certainly helped by that point that you get for pole position. Nihil is 6 above, and then closer to our cut line, Abby Little's only 4 points up, and Bevels too, undoubtedly caused by a bit of some adversity throughout the race. Breeds a lot is 2 down, as is Mika Harina, and Taylor Happman is 3 points below the cut line. Talberson is down 15, and Yukovic, with her unfortunate escapades throughout the race, 19 points below the cut line at the bottom of the pile. So definitely a lot of stress, I'd say, for the drivers heading into Martinsville, especially for those, I'd say, who aren't really the top 5.
Yeah, the top 5 seem pretty good, but then once again, everyone else between Waterton and Happerman, they're all separated by just 12 points, plus 9 to minus 3. It's a big mess there. So everybody there, and even Talberson and Yukovic, not even that far back. A good performance there. A good top 10 to top 5 performance would see them right in that as well, I think. Especially if those drivers on the bubble right now, heading into Martinsville, experienced problems early on in that race.
Yeah, definitely. Like if Bevels or Little have a bad day and Yukovic or Talberson have a good day, that could definitely upset the balance of things. As Martinsville, I'd say, ironically, could be a bit more chaotic than this track. And I'm not saying ironically because it's not like Martinsville isn't chaotic. It very much is in many racing series, but Talladega, you associate it with chaos. We didn't really get chaos in terms of, drivers on track so much. It was more so chaos in terms of reliability. I think Martinsville is going to be more of chaos in terms of drivers and sort of their conduct in racing fashion.
Yeah. I mean, Martinsville is going to be a different kind of chaos as we look towards the races next week. Both series are going to be at Martinsville. Lots on the line. Martinsville as a playoff cutoff, as an elimination race is always going to be just going to be a pot boiling over. It's just going to be everything is going to come down to the line, obviously. And with those kind of stakes, I would expect to see some really aggressive racing from some of these drivers, especially those that don't really have much to lose right now. A lot of drivers find themselves in pretty big holes point wise heading into Martinsville, and that's a driver with nothing to lose in Martinsville is one of the scariest things you could ever run into, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Whether that's nothing to lose in terms of already in a bad spot or nothing to lose in terms of safe, that's definitely something that's out there for sure. But if you're kind of down and in a corner, a cornered animal tends to fight back. Certainly would be the case with these drivers below the cut line as well. If you are down there, you really need to fight forward and really just be aggressive. Take no prisoners, don't apologize, and do whatever you can for yourself, especially in these playoffs. And of course, after that, we'll have just 4 races until a champion is decided.
Yep, just one more round of the playoffs. Well, 2 rounds, but 1 full round, and then of course the championship race. And if there's nothing else you'd like to add, I think we wrap the podcast pretty soon here from our post race show. Any other final thoughts, Madison?
Well, I mean, not really, but I hope all of you enjoyed the show, and thank you to all of our partners, including Polymarket, for stepping in and doing such a great job presenting this race weekend. And now we'll take things back to the booth so we can finish off this broadcast, which was really quite a pleasure. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and a really fun race here from Talladega. The Polymarket 600 with Abriella shocking the field to win her first race. And next week, we go to Martinsville for the cutoff race. 5 drivers will be eliminated right now. In that position, Delad, Harina, Happeman, Talberson, Yukovic. It's those 5 that are going to have to do all they can to get back to the playoffs and get into the third round. There's a lot going on next week at Martinsville. We got the Continental race and the Cup race next week. I will see you then. In the meantime, on behalf of Rasha, Madison, and Ellie, I'm Echo. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will